year to starting the season so dominant, and now to have the end of the season, and not even just, I mean, some of those games they lost, to San Francisco and to the Cowboys. Like, what they showed yesterday was, I mean, just nothing like what we saw early in the season. And I don't know if that is just, it's week 18. They know they have a playoff spot, but you got to think they were wanting to go out there and at least try to have a shot of winning the division.
They can't. They won't lose to the Buccaneers, will they? Next Monday night, a week from tonight.
I feel like I'm very strong in that take, and they have not shown very much these last couple of weeks. But I mean, I think that would be you're now making a change at head coach if they lose to the Buccaneers.
And look what it took to make the playoffs. In the AFC, you had to be a 10-win team.
Yeah.
If you weren't a 10-win team, you weren't getting in. In the NFC, except for division-winning Tampa Bay at 9-8, and wild card Green Bay at 9-8, they're the only 2 9 winners.
Yeah.
So 10 got you in.
Yeah.
You had to have 10 in the AFC, and 10 got you in the NFC.
Yeah, you felt pretty good with 10 in the NFC. Now, I mean, it's impressive, and now you mentioned the Packers getting in there with 9 wins. Mike McCarthy gets to go up against his old team, and also it brings back plenty of memories for me about the Dez Bryant. Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? It was a catch. We don't need to sit here and debate.
That was at Lambeau.
Yes, that was at Lambeau. But anytime I see these two teams facing off, I get memories of that dreadful day.
And for the Detroit Lions, when I see them finally in a first time ever in a home playoff game at Ford Field, and they're playing the Rams.
That's right.
With the Rams wide receiver firepower after how the Lions got lit up 2 weeks ago by C.D. Lamb, and how yesterday Justin Jefferson lit up the Lions, the Rams could pull the upset.
Yeah, no, they definitely could, and we all knew Matthew Stafford was going to be there for for Detroit's first home playoff game. It's very fitting, and I heard someone say we'll finally get to learn who won that trade, even though Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl after being traded. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you're right. I mean, with what the Rams have done this year, getting Cooper Kupp now healthy, what Puka Nacua has done as a rookie, it's been really impressive, and there are not many secondaries in the NFL that can stop both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua.
And the Lions sure can't. And yesterday, I think Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in the NFL, and he could do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, but he can against most teams. Yeah. I'm not on upset alert for the Cowboys. I'm not. But I am on really close, uncomfortable game alert for the Cowboys when they play next Sunday afternoon at home against the Packers. And Jordan Love just completed his first year as the starter.
Yeah.
And for the Packers to attempt to go 3 straight, we tried to earlier in the football season, we tried to come up with a franchise that could claim 3 straight. The Raiders kind of did it, late 60s, 70s, into the 80s. They kind of did it. But for the Packers, they're doing it. Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now Jordan Love. I'm not saying he's better. It's just 1 year. He could get hurt. He could get hurt next year. He could lose confidence. He could break that thumb off a helmet going through and lose that confidence. Get a little gun shy in the pocket. A lot of things can go wrong. Sure. But let's compare first years for Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love as starters. Okay. Favre was 8-5 win-loss with 18 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 32-27 yardage. Okay. That's pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was 6-10 record, 28-13 TD to interception, just a little over 4,000 yards, 4,038 yards.
Okay.
Jordan Love, 9-8, 32-11.
Wow.
41-59 yardage.
Wow.
Do you think people know that?
No, there's no chance, Brett. You mentioned before the show that you had numbers on Jordan Love and comparing them with those 2 previous quarterbacks, and I had no idea. I didn't know where you were going. I didn't know. I didn't want to look it up.
Every throw.
I didn't want.
He can make every throw.
That is incredible. I mean, I've enjoyed watching Jordan Love this year, but I did not know the stats matched up like that.
I don't know that I really appreciate it until this last 2 weeks. And remember, when we were trying to find hot team, and Bo Marchand, our Tuesday NFL guest, and several others talked about long ago, locked on Buffalo, and they were correct. Yeah. And that was really good takes. And remember, I said, I think my sneaky team is Green Bay.
Yeah.
And that it was about that point. I noticed him all year, but I mean yesterday. And the throw of the year was the throw that the guy was just barely out of bounds, or barely out of the back line.
Yeah.
It's to his left. It's to its right. It's on the run. It's 7-step drop. It's the 2-step and throw the slant. It's the being patient on the screen pass. They don't screen a lot. Right. Green Bay doesn't, and I don't know why they don't, because they run it well enough. But a lot of young quarterbacks aren't patient enough to throw the screen. You got to really be smart and hold your fire on that screen pass, and that takes experience. He is a very smart player, and he's been in the league a while, but he hadn't been playing very much.
Yeah. Yeah, no one, and it's been a fun story to kind of watch, and I hope it continues on a positive path because, Brett, I mean, even last year when Aaron Rodgers was still there and kind of in the preseason, and he would kind of come in at times, or even this year in the preseason, it was, this guy can't do it. This guy, look at the interceptions he throws, look at the bad decisions he makes. And a lot of people were, kind of criticizing the Packers for that draft pick, how high they took him, and then, even keeping him around and trying to make him the franchise quarterback. But then when you stack up those stats after 1 year regular season as the starting quarterback, I mean, it's undeniable just what kind of talented player he is.
And we have buried the lead. The lead's the Memphis Tigers with another thrilling last-second win yesterday. I told you guys before we came on, and you heard, everybody heard me on Friday talking about how impressed I was with the win, and especially with the travel issues at Tulsa.
Yeah. I'm
just as impressed from yesterday from a different vantage point. That was not close to the A game.
No.
That was not even really okay. It was a B game. But if we went plus minus, it was B minus.
Yeah,
it may have been a high C game.
I was about to say, I'd probably give it a C. I mean, that game was ugly.
You're good when you can play like that and still win against a quality opponent.
Yeah.
And SMU's quality. SMU
absolutely.
Will get better.
Oh, absolutely. And Brett, we talked a lot about SMU. I really was worried about this game coming in because of kind of the opponents that SMU had played. I think they're a good team. But, I mean, definitely some things that were alarming in that game. But, you have the big comeback in the second half. You don't give up.
What was the most alarming? I'm sorry for interrupting you. What was the most alarming?
Rebounding.
Again?
Yeah. I mean, just the fact, what was it, like 25-9 at
free throw
halftime?
shooting kind of came a cropper yesterday.
56% from the free throw line?
For the first time all year.
Yeah, you're right. They've been solid, and it wasn't guys that you would really expect to struggle at the free throw line. It was Quinterly struggling at times at the free throw line. It was David Jones struggling at times at the free throw line. I mean, it was these guys that you really rely on to knock down the free throws really struggle. But I'd say rebounding for me was the big issue. But they were able to come back. I didn't love that last possession, but hey, Quinterly has a lot of confidence in his shot, and it falls, and so you live to see another game, and this win streak continues.
And took some fortune for SMU missing the free throw. Yeah. That helped. And I didn't like the last minute that took 22 hours to play.
It took forever, Brett. Oh, it was so long.
And in college basketball, we've got to speed up the last minute and a half, 2 minutes of play. It is just a glacial pace. With all the reviews and all the timeouts.
Well, Brett,
it is overcoached, it's over-refereed, it's over-reviewed.
Well, and the review's the big part. I think college football has gotten quicker a little bit in terms of reviews, but college basketball still moves at a snail's pace. I mean, and it's right, everything.
Now, is this an SEC thing? And because I haven't noticed except for when SEC started Saturday, now they're going to the table and have the kind of the reverse mic, and they're looking into the camera and they're making the call at the desk, like ball's out of bounds. Yeah. It's Kentucky's ball.
Yeah.
Is that just SEC?
I think that is just SEC. I'm trying to think of
Ooh,
other places.
it'll make those prima donnas want more TV time.
Yeah. Because I know they don't do that with Memphis. I know some of the other games I watched over the weekend, I didn't notice that. But you're right.
I haven't seen it all year anywhere, but of course.
Well, and it's becoming so popular in the NBA now, and so I guess the SEC wants to be.
And they get to show their guns and make their call.
That's right, and so they get a little screen time for themselves, and they take advantage of it, Brett. They do.
They sure do.
But man, you're right. The reviews when it comes to college basketball, everything has to be reviewed, and we have to spend 10 minutes on each time. It could be the easiest call in the world, Brett. They could show that replay up on the screen. You could immediately go, "Yep, that's the call. They need to change it. It was the right call, whatever it might be. Let's get back to basketball," and they'll take 10 minutes looking at it.
And whoever that color analyst yesterday on the Tiger game, the Tigers get him a lot. The AAC gets him a lot. I don't know who it is. During the course of a game, if he had his way, every rule in the sport would get changed.
Yes.
Oh, that rule's got to be changed. That rule's got to be looked at by the competition committee. Oh, we got to change. Yeah. He would change the opening tip to a kickoff.
Brett, honestly, I would like to see that. I mean, that would be interesting.
Be kind of wild, wouldn't it?
It sure would be. I mean,
go old XFL and fight for the ball.
I love it. Just roll the ball out there, like in middle school when you did those drills where they'd roll it out there and you'd have to dive on it. Yeah, let's do that.
Would y'all have pads? Would they put the pads down, or would you do it on the hardwood?
We just did. We'd do it on the hardwood.
Oh yeah, I've seen college teams do it.
Oh yeah, and scram and try to get it. But yeah, you're right. No, that's something that I've noticed a lot with some of the color commentators is, they use that as an opportunity to voice all of their opinions on the
everything sport. Suspect
everything, and it is it's weird. It's not my favorite, but you're right, the Tigers do survive, and
great win.
Great
week.
A really good week. And for Quinterly, two game winners in 2 games, so a pretty good week for him as well. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we'll stick with this topic, talk about the Tigers and their win over SMU yesterday. Also, a game this week against UTSA. 3:45, we'll talk about the Grizzlies. The weekend, they had a couple of wins for them on the West Coast. 4 o'clock, David Cobb. It feels like forever since the last time we talked to David Cobb, but he's going to join us at 4 o'clock from CBS Sports. We'll talk college football. We'll talk the national championship game tonight, and we'll also talk some college basketball with David. 4:30, we'll get to some NFL news as the regular season has come to an end. The playoffs are set, and so we'll look back at the season. We'll look ahead to the playoffs. We'll also talk about the few changes we've had at head coach today on this Black Monday. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal. He's on the Grizzlies beat. He'll join us, talk about the Grizzlies. Their 2 wins over the weekend. 5:30, we'll get to our Roos Chris college football playoff national championship game pick and preview with the NFL behind us. We're also going to get to Big 4 all-time for Michigan and Washington, and this is just while they were at those schools. Not, so I can go ahead and say Tom Brady is not on my list for Michigan because a lot of that success happened in the NFL and not at Michigan.
He was good at Michigan, and in back-to-back bowl games, just ripped the SEC apart. A really good Houston Nutt team in a bowl game, and the best Mike Dubose team. Mm-hmm. And that's quite a saying right there. The best Mike Dubose team at Alabama, and he shredded them. I don't think I'm too far off on this. I'm going to say in those 2 games, he was approaching 700 yards passing.
Incredible. Holy cow. You could make an argument for him on your Michigan list, I think, but Michigan players, you got to do it at the Rose Bowl, don't you? Yeah, and there's some good
Here's the question. Is Harbaugh on it?
Brett, we'll have to wait till 5:30.
Okay.
I can't give anything away.
Jim Harbaugh was a great pro quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Let me rephrase. A really solid pro quarterback.
A really good pro quarterback.
Really good.
Say. There was some stat that I remember seeing a while ago, and it was either his pass. I think it was his rushing yards in the NFL, and it was like higher than some running back that you wouldn't think.
And tough competitor, tough-minded. If he wins tonight, this is a bold statement. If he wins tonight, I think he is the best coach that also played, the best player that became a national championship coach ever in college football.
I mean, I would agree with you.
Maybe ever topping the best from college basketball. Steve Kerr is the best in the NBA.
Sure.
Steve Kerr was a great NBA player and has been a great coach and a championship coach.
Yeah.
Baseball, that's a good one. That might be a summertime discussion.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Joe Torre was a really good player.
Yeah.
MVP in 7. Davey Johnson was good. Red Shanedeans was a good player for the Cardinals.
There's some good ones, but I think Jim Harbaugh wins tonight. I mean,
Harbaugh was, and Brian, in the 80s, I promise you, I know, and there's no way I can prove this, but I would have bet my life, I would have bet a lot in the 80s watching college football, Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, Mike Shula at Alabama, and Kent Austin at Ole Miss would someday be head coach at their alma mater and be successful. Well, Harbaugh was, Shula wasn't, Kent Austin never got on the college football head coaching circuit. It was a head coach in CFL and is now part of Hugh Freeze's staff. It was assistant at Ole Miss and a lot of other places. But I would have bet a lot of money during the 80s those three would be head coach at their beloved school.
Yeah, but now Jim Harbaugh's doing it, and
right there tonight.
I mean, Mr. Michigan, if he wins it tonight. So we'll do that at 5:30, and then at 5:45 we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. It's time for the floor model sale. All floor model patio sets are priced to move. Wicker sofa set under $2,000. Closeout patio cushions as low as $25. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating under $2,000. Four-person hot tubs under $5,000. An infrared and traditional steam sauna is now 25% off. Get ready for summer and purchase your above-ground pool now to get first in line for installation and special financing. It's still available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian, I'm Brett, and Johnny Hill is our producer, and we're Sportstime, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to join us at 901-360-8255. It's finally Monday, a real Monday again, Monday, January 8th, 2024, and this hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. They are at 2600 Ridgeway, and they are online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all the 2024 models and always special leasing options. There's a remaining one or two 23s, but it's mostly like the calendar year, the 2024s. Driving luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, Brett, my top story of the day is the NFL playoffs are set. In the NFC, it'll be 7th-seeded Packers at 2nd-seeded Cowboys, which will be fun. It'll be Mike McCarthy facing his previous team. And also, look out, but the Packers have been playing really good football, 6-2 in their last 8 games. Rams at Lions in the 6-3, which will be a lot of fun. Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit as they host a playoff game. Will be a lot of fun to watch. Eagles and Buccaneers in the 5-4. What the Eagles have done lately, this kind of just disaster down the stretch. I think they'll be able to bounce back in the playoffs against a Buccaneers team that just barely got in there, but it will be interesting to see how it plays out. In the AFC, Steelers-Bills in the 7-2 after the Bills beat the Dolphins last night. Dolphins travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Browns in Texas. That Browns and Texans game is going to be really, really fun. You've got the young C.J. Stroud that has really played well. He's going to be the Rookie of the Year for sure, going up against the veteran Joe Flacco, who they had to call in off his couch and has been playing unbelievably well down the stretch. That'll be a lot of fun. And another one to keep an eye on, that 6-3 Dolphins and Chiefs. Look, Brett, I understand that home field advantage is a big thing in the NFL, and especially in the playoffs. You want to be at home. But maybe this is better for the Dolphins. The Bills, who have been playing really, really well. Bo Marchant tells us
10 degrees in Kansas City, though.
Woo, that's not fun. I did not look at the weather. But you've got this Bills team that's been red hot. They come down to Miami. All their fans travel with them. If the Dolphins had won, they'd have to turn around and play the Bills. Again, I know Dolph fans were cheering for a tie because that means they would have gotten the Steelers, but going up against a Chiefs team that has not looked the same this year in Kansas City. Now I'm learning about the temperatures, and that's not going to be fun for those South Beach boys, but it's going to be a lot of fun in that game on Peacock, Brett. I've already heard people complaining on a Monday morning about how an NFL playoff game is on Peacock.
It will be. It'll be on Peacock, so I'll be listening to it right here.
Yes, you will.
My top story, college football playoff national championship game in Houston between these two undefeateds in a game that once would have been a perfect place to play this game would have been Pasadena on a New Year's Day. Now deep in the heart of Texas and Washington, they last won a national championship with a split decision in 1991, defeated Michigan in a Rose Bowl to get that split. Unbelievably for Michigan, the last time they won a national championship was a split in 1997 when they defeated Washington State in a Rose Bowl. Last dance for the Pac-12 tonight. It's over after tonight for the football side of it. Could go football and basketball this spring in the last hours of the Pac-12. We'll see what the Pac-2, the two-pack does. 12 college football national champions in this 21st century from 5 conferences. SEC with 5, the ACC with 3, the Big 12 with 2, Big 10 and Pac-12 1 each. So somebody goes to 2, either the Big 10 or the Pac-12.
Not top story of the day.
Well, I'm sticking right there with my not top story of the day, the national championship game tonight. 2 undefeated teams. You've got Washington's just really unbelievable offense. You've got a 4,000-yard thrower, 2,000-yard receivers, a 1,000-yard rusher on that offense, going up against a Michigan defense that looked really, really good and has looked really, really good lately, but looked really good, especially on the defensive line against Alabama last week. So it really seems like a great matchup. Kind of the matchup that a lot of people, I want to say expected because they were 1-2, but I don't think a lot of people expected this one. There were a lot of people that thought it would be Alabama and Texas. People have been doubting Washington all year long. People thought they were going to lose back in the conference championship game a few weeks ago, but now here they are on a Monday night, one of the last 2 teams remaining behind Michael Penix Jr. that may or may not, in his short time at Washington, be on my top 4 list for Washington when we do that at 5:30. What he has done for this program, what he has done for himself and his body. If you remember, back at Indiana, he was way more of a mobile quarterback. A lot kind of run, scramble out of the pocket. But because of all of these injuries, these leg injuries, these surgeries had to have, he's kind of changed his game into more of a pocket passer and turned into this gunslinger that throws it all over the place. Just an unbelievable year for both of these teams, and now tonight one of them will be crowned champion.
We would do Big 4 for Washington and Michigan at 5:30. We'll also make the pick. Johnny Hill will pick as well, and it's Michigan all the way up to 6 points. We'll pick it at 6.5. My not top story: NFL playoffs are set. 14 in, and 3 of the 14 are 3 of the 4 teams to never appear in a Super Bowl. Jacksonville, Detroit, Cleveland, Houston have never played on Super Bowl Sunday. Well, Jacksonville won't, as they narrowly missed out on the playoffs. Houston, they probably won't, but they've accomplished a lot. That may be one of the teams, when we go over goals, of just win a game, or maybe enough already accomplished. But also, the doomsday scenario exists. Time stop. World comes to an end. It is in play. It could happen. Closest as we've been, maybe ever. Detroit and Cleveland.
We'll be ticking down the final hours of Earth when that
That's
game's
it.
going on. Saying our goodbyes to everybody. Clock strikes midnight on this ball game, so does the world. I mean, that really would be.
At the end of the game or at kickoff? Do we even see a conclusion?
I think if the world is as good as I hope it is, I would hope we would at least get to see the game.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then,
well, we at least got to bet on the coin toss.
well, yes, you're right. They got to at least give us the coin toss.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of the zeros, confetti starts coming down, and then end of everything right there. So that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we come back, we'll talk more about what happened for the Tigers yesterday as they beat SMU. That's next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This holiday season, give the gift of Gould's with a Gould's gift card for someone you love. It's the perfect gift for everyone. The Gould's gift card doesn't just send wishes, it grants them in-store and online. Just come to any Gould's and pick up a gift card or go to GouldSalonSpa.com to purchase online. That's GouldSalonSpa.com. Happy holidays from Gould's. Gould's Salon Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're moving a wreck over to the side right now, westbound on Sam Cooper, right when you come off I-40. It's not causing a big delay, but it's over here nonetheless. Wet driving conditions going to send you out a little bit early this afternoon. Give yourself a little bit of extra time. It's picking up with more volume on 240 east from Mill Branch all the way out to Bill Morris Parkway. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And the Tigers, a winner last night, I guess yesterday afternoon, a 4 p.m. tip-off, 62-59 was the final score as the Tigers have to come back yesterday in that one. They were down 36-24 at halftime, but they outscored SMU 38-23 in that second half. Javon Quinterly with the last-second dagger to win it. The second game in a row, basically same spot on the floor. He knocks down two important shots in the last two games. Brett, what were your biggest takeaways from this one yesterday?
Just a gritty win, a type of win that you have to have in a really good to great season. Now, I know this won't strictly apply because the NCAA tournament won't be in the friendly confines of FedEx Forum and won't have that crowd that I think really helped the Tigers, especially with that halftime deficit. Mm-hmm. I was a little concerned at halftime that might be too much to dig out of. They dug out of it in the first 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. In the second half. Don't know what was said, but something worked at halftime. Whatever was said, I think the message got across. Yeah. And again, yesterday, Penny Hardaway out of timeouts, drawing up stuff, whether it's inbounds under the basket, inbounds on the side, inbounds on the other end, and came out with a really good plan in the second half. Immediately got David Jones back into the mix and kind of got the sweat going for him. Mm-hmm. But that game, while you won't have this in the NCAA tournament, that was a game when the Tigers, I think, when they're about a 4 seed, as I think they will be if they go 16-2, 15-3 in AAC. I think they'll be about a 4 seed. That's the kind of opponent you'll see as a 13.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if they're that 3 or 4,
maybe
seed,
better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so, especially if they're a 4 seed, I think you could see a really good opponent in that first game. But you're right. I mean, right out of the gates in that second half, you're trailing, and it really seemed, and you mentioned the crowd. I mean, that first half, really, I mean, the fans could never get into it. I mean, it felt like they wanted to
SMU took them out.
It took them out immediately and really never let them get back in that first half. But then Tigers come out in the second half, and it's a completely different feel to that game. And they start off a 10-2 run to begin the second half. It's what they needed and got them right back into that game. But no, you're right. And we mentioned it earlier. Certainly the front court play was an issue last night. I mean, the rebounding was really poor last night. The second chance points, 19-9 in that game. Those are things they got to clean up. But to be able to be down and really can't get anything going in the first half, and then to be able to turn it around and come back and win that game, that's huge. And we've said it about other games this season. I don't know how many previous Penny Hardaway teams would have been able to come back in a game like that yesterday and win.
Brian, I'm with you, and you even go back to the Virginia Common game. Yeah. You go back to the Arkansas game in the Bahamas. You go back, now, Coach Hardaway wasn't on the sidelines for the Mizzou game. That was Rick Stansbury, but it's his team. Yeah. It's his fingerprints all over this team. I don't know if they win those games.
No, they probably don't.
And this one is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is a really talented team that Memphis has, and you're seeing them win games in different ways, and I think that's important. And, I know a lot of people are worried about these games, and sure, there are, things like I just pointed out, the rebounding is certainly an issue, but I do think having some adversity is definitely good for a team like this, and they can only get better by having to grit out wins like this.
Even to FAU, can't lose an AAC game at home.
Right.
You can get scared half to death, and at times yesterday it was in foul trouble all day for Naquan Tomlin, his least best game in his short Tiger career. He was not very good yesterday. Turnovers were high, free throw shooting percentage was low, and got beat on the boards. Yep. And you still win. You win in fun style, in kind of that magic carpet ride, possibly magical year. I I just can't find anything to complain about.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think,
and I'm not looking.
No, and I think a win's a win. And but you're right. I mean, turnovers were high for both teams. I think that was kind of the good thing about it is, yeah, Memphis had turnovers, but also SMU did, and really.
SMU played way too fast to pull the road upset.
Way too fast.
I'm watching the game, and I'm for the Tigers, but I promise you, I was thinking, SMU, you're not going to win trying to play at this pace. You got to try to steal it at the buzzer.
Well, and that was really a pace that benefited the Tigers, not only because they were playing from behind and needed points, but that's just, Penny Hardaway likes the kind of running gun offense and get up and down the floor, and so they were playing right into the hands of Memphis. But I thought, the Tigers' defense was huge late in that game. There were a couple of fouls, sent SMU to the free throw line, but no field goals for SMU in the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds, which is definitely huge for them.
And getting, I think, in the last 2 games, the best basketball so far this year out of Jaquan Walton. Would not have won at Tulsa, would not have won yesterday without him.
Yeah, no, and for Jaquan Walton, I mean, it's been impressive to watch because you can just go to a game and hear it. I mean, people, anytime he tries to take a three-point shot, people, why is he taking these shots? What's wrong with him? He's not playing well. He's terrible, yada, yada, yada. But he just continues to play his role that Penny wants him to play. He's doing a lot of things. I think I said this, a couple weeks ago, people are getting a little too caught up in the three-point shooting for Walton because he's doing so many other things really, really well and is really impacting the game in a positive way. Did knock down 2 threes yesterday, which was huge. But he's going to be an important part and has been back in the starting lineups after, being off the bench for a couple games. But he's going to be a huge part of this team.
I promise you not to. I'm not going to belabor this, but I will go back one more time. I will try my best not to remind anybody of this again. Mm-hmm. But when next year, please, everybody, remember this. When we get into that September, October, and you're rattling off names, and this one can do that, and 11, 12, 13, 19, 89-man roster, and only one ball. Remember, it gets down in the ditch, and it gets down in the foxhole to about 5 or 6 or 7 guys that can go, and it is now played out with between injury and discontent and whatever else. It is down to that, and it affected Malcolm Dandridge yesterday.
Yeah, no,
he was out of gas.
Yeah, no, he definitely was, and we kind of know.
And the foul trouble with Tomlin hurt him.
Sure, and you had to be out there for 27 minutes last night, and that's just not what how you want to use Malcolm Dandridge. He's going to be good when he's out there for 15 to 17 minutes a night.
But that was about 7 guys yesterday.
Yeah, no, it got down pretty
if
thin.
that.
Yeah, I mean, you had to, let's see, guys that played more than 14 minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. 6?
Yeah, 6 guys. The 5 starters and Tomlin.
No, Tomlin only played 14 minutes is what I'm seeing.
I'm sorry. What was your minute number?
Over 15.
Over 15 minutes. Yeah. I'm sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
you're right.
So only the starting 5 played more than 15 minutes in that game.
And 4 of the 5 starters logged 30 plus.
Yeah.
So next September and October, when you get the cheerleaders selling you this 19-man roster, don't buy that. Yeah. And please quit selling it.
No, you're right. And I mean, even if
stuff happens.
Yeah. And even if you expand it to guys that played more than 10 minutes, you have 7 guys, Jalen Young and Naquan Tomlin, 14 and 13. I mean,
and that was with a big in-season addition in Tomlin.
Yes. So no, it's gonna get.
Nobody was counting on Tomlin when we were talking this 22-man roster.
No, nobody even his name was never mentioned because he was
it is just mindless to do this. I mean, in the name of support, and I know I know a lot of them are trying to out-captain Memphis cheerlead, and it's a lot of that. It gets down to 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does, and so we're seeing that, and you mentioned
for everybody. I mean,
absolutely.
Duke's not running out 8 or 9 people that Shire's counting on, or Kansas and Bill Self. Nobody's doing that.
And about 7 guys.
And I say, a lot of those people that do that, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they should know better, but I'm beginning to wonder that.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. But you mentioned, discontent, and we know obviously Jordan Brown, but Penny still says he's still with the team. He said it again after yesterday. I mean, I don't know. But
all right. So since Coach Hardaway is the coach of the team, I would say the face of the University of Memphis is Penny Hardaway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Since he is all but entered into let's play along with the gag, then I don't feel too bad about checking on Jordan Brown's health anymore. Maybe we need to send him a card.
No, I don't think so. When everybody is saying he is not with the team anymore, and then the head coach saying, yeah, he's still with the team.
There's real doubt he's in the state of Tennessee right now.
I don't think he is. And then the news today, J.J. Taylor and Mikey Williams are in the transfer portal now, and we know J.J. Taylor was suspended for that game against Vanderbilt, wasn't with the team. The 2 games after that, Austin Peay were on the road against Tulsa. We saw pictures, I think Friday night. I think J.J. Taylor posted a picture on his social media that he was back in California working out with Mikey. It seemed imminent that something like this was going to happen, but today that news kind of came out earlier. So I know Jason Munns was first getting that news while he was on with Dave Woloschin this morning. He's been all over it. He's done a really good job covering it. But, so, I mean, this roster's getting thin, not only with guys you're going to be able to rely on, but just bodies. And now you're down 2 guys at the beginning of the season that you thought, if you got in trouble, you could use, and now you don't have either of them.
Pure speculation on my part.
Okay.
I think Mikey Williams and his people, and J.J. Taylor was kind of in that camp. I think he's one of their people.
Yeah.
After being cleared, I want to play in either the university or Coach Hardaway or both said, no, we got to let this ruminate a little, and they're out of town.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Jason Munns was saying. Like I said, he was on with Dave Woloschin earlier today when he kind of first learned.
If I'm cleared, let me play.
And that's what he kind of said. What he had heard is that, he, as long as he was clear, he was told by everybody that he can play. And then kind of on Memphis's end, they said, let's wait a little bit. And he didn't
I'm going to defend the coach every time in this situation.
Absolutely.
He knows. Those coaches know what the right addition, the right mix, what could be done to chemistry, also the PR optics. I'm going to side with Penny Hardaway every time on personnel issues.
Well, and Brett, just how this whole thing played out and how Penny Hardaway handled it, I thought he did an unbelievable job handling
gloriously.
it. And so, definitely
number one defender in the country of Mikey Williams was Coach Penny Hardaway.
Yep, I mean, he played it exactly right. And even when kind of everybody nationally was saying, you got to cut ins with this guy.
Even when he was catching some incoming.
Yeah, and so I thought played it really well. And so it's unfortunate that this is how it ended. But, those guys now in the transfer portal, and they'll land, I'm guessing, probably still a package deal with each other at their next spot. But let's go ahead and get to another break. When we come back, it wasn't just the Tigers that were in action this weekend. The Grizzlies had a pair of games on the West Coast. We'll get to a break. We'll talk about that next.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloschin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Is your home still not warm enough or running out of hot water? Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, and we've got exciting news for you. Introducing Choate's Carrier Repair Buyback Program. If you've had HVAC or water heater repairs in the past year, you're in luck. Choate's will credit your repair costs up to $1,500 with a brand new HVAC or tankless water heater system. Yep, you heard right. Just bring your repair invoice from the last 365 days and get ready to upgrade your home's comfort. Say goodbye to those chilly nights and inconsistent heating. Choate's has you covered with various low-payment financing plans, making your upgrade more affordable than ever. Imagine a more efficient and reliable system keeping your family cozy all winter winter long. And here's the best part. This offer is a substantial boost towards a state-of-the-art heating solution. Ready to take the next step? Schedule your free estimate by calling 347-8086. And remember, turn to the experts with Choates and let our family serve your family.
Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, golf, or real estate, having the winning coach makes all the difference in your success. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and I'm with Coach Terry Tippett, winner of 6 state basketball championships. Coach, what's been the secret to your and your team's successes?
Sheldon, there's no one secret. It becomes a pattern of success after coaching for so many years and learning the ins and outs of the game and the players, a lot like the pattern of your success in selling homes.
Thanks, Coach. Like you and your program, I developed my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option, and I also tried to use it in my golf game.
Sheldon, tried is the optimum word. You better stick to selling homes, as you're always hitting holes in one at that, instead of double bogeys.
Thanks a lot. And if anyone is thinking of selling their home, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 coaches. I mean real estate brokers. Let me be one of them. You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com and be a winner.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, the Tigers were in action, 4 p.m. tip yesterday on ESPN, and basically right after that game was over, the Grizzlies in action on the West Coast in Phoenix, their second game of kind of that go out way west and then kind of work your way back to Memphis. They started off Friday against the Lakers. Like I mentioned, the Suns yesterday. They'll get a little bit closer tomorrow night against the Mavericks before finally coming back to play the Clippers. But the Grizzlies, in these 2 games over the weekend, 2 wins over the Lakers and the Suns. We mentioned it on Friday, Brett. If you're going to get the Lakers, this is the time to get them. And I think you can probably say the same thing about the Suns with kind of all of the rumors that's been coming out of Phoenix.
And now 3 out of 4 for the Grizzlies. But when I left FedEx Forum last Wednesday night, after really getting stroked by Toronto, I thought this road trip, if they get swept, this is kind of taps for the season. Not only that, and didn't get swept, they got a chance to sweep tomorrow night in Dallas, and the win Friday night against the Lakers, certainly the weekend of the year, but maybe the win of the year Friday night, because y'all know, Johnny, you know it, Bryant, you know it. You just don't walk into crypto and have to look up in those rafters and see that in-season tournament banner and not be intimidated.
That's right. Yeah, you're right about that.
Just mere mortals don't walk in there and not, be a little bit dissuaded and a little bit intimidated by playing mighty LeBron and Anthony Davis and seeing that in-season tournament and all, that banner and it's all its glory. You're not playing 5 guys. You're playing 25,000.
That's right.
That's true, Brett. I completely agree.
Right now, after hearing that, that was So elegant. I mean,
to walk in there and be able to withstand that pressure, to think,
right.
that we're playing. It would be a little bit like, some of those little smaller countries in Barcelona in '92 when they were getting pregame pictures taken with the Dream Team and wanting autographs. You almost want to stop the game during the middle of the game and recognize I'm playing against an in-season tournament champion.
Right, not just an in-season tournament champion, the first in-season tournament
They made history, Brian. They made history.
The historic Lakers and all those other championship banners and the jersey of Magic and of Kareem and Wilt, that wouldn't, Jerry West wouldn't intimidate you. No. But that in-season banner, it would.
It sure would, and it did early in the game. Grizzlies got down early, but then.
Well, naturally,
how could you
you start from behind playing the in-season tournament champion.
You're starstruck.
You are, Johnny. You're in, and you look over around the court and you see the movie stars there, and then you think of. You think of that gripping ceremony. Just 3 weeks ago, we were in the middle of that ceremony.
Yeah, it feels much longer. Than it actually
you think just anybody's going to jump in a swimming pool and beat Michael Phelps? You think anybody's going to run out on the track and outrun Usain Bolt?
Brett, you're making some great points here. You don't just walk in and beat the in-season champions.
Brett's hitting it on every nail, man.
Lakers a much different team when the in-season tournament isn't on the line.
Well, you can't match that intensity.
You can't. It's not the same. But no, Grizzlies go down early.
That's how foolish all that was.
It really is. But no, I thought the Grizzlies played really well. They go down early. A lot of people were, okay, here we go again, another loss, this time to the Lakers. But they're able to bounce back and have, we've been talking about kind of
Zaire Williams playing his best basketball
really well these last couple of games. But Brett, we talked about it, and we talked about it with that Raptors game. We talked about it a couple times this year of kind of the middle of the game, second quarter, third quarter is really where the Grizzlies fall apart.
A lot of reserves playing in that time.
Didn't happen these last two games. Played really well. And I thought, especially last night, that energy that we've talked about probably too much this year. It was all, even with John Morant out, it was all go, and this team looked really, really good despite John Morant being out with that injury. So a lot of fun. Like I said, they'll be back in action tomorrow night on the road against the Mavericks. It'd be tough. It's been, Grizzlies haven't had much success in these kind of extended road series when it's, multiple games on the road. But we'll see if they can complete the sweep. That would certainly be huge for confidence as we are getting closer to the halfway point of the season. But that'll do it for our first hour. Let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, David Cobb from CBS Sports, he'll join us to talk college football and college basketball. That's next.
It's a new year, and Family Leisure has a new way to bring family and fun together. All you have to do is walk into Family Leisure and look around. All those floor model patio sets you see, those have got to go. So Family Leisure can make room for all the new sets coming. Get a wicker sofa set for under $2,000. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating for under $2,000. Hot tubs for $4,000 or just for yourself. If you really want to lounge, they're under $5,000. Need patio cushions? Get them as low as $25. Oh, have you seen those infrared steam saunas? Well, now they and the traditional saunas are 25% off. It may just be the first few weeks of 2024, but that doesn't mean you can't start getting ready for summer. Two final things. Purchase your above-ground pool now and get first in line for installation, and take advantage of special financing that's available. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, bringing the family and the fun back together.
Psst. Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The holidays are over and everyone has that little bit of Christmas money they didn't have a month ago. And studies have shown the best way to spend money you did nothing to earn is to do something extravagant, like taking yourself and others, if necessary, to 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. Meemaw may not have intended that crisp Benjamin to go to having the best steak of your life, but she didn't specify what it should be spent on, did she? Go ahead. Feel all warm and fuzzy knowing that somebody else is footing the bill for 117 Prime.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll make the playoffs electrifying. New customers, listen to this, can bet $5, that's it, on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and then please use the code HERD to get this offer, H-E-R-D. New customers, bet $5, that's it, to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. With the code HERD, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sportstime is National College Football writer for CBS Sports, Memphis native and Tennessee grad, who you can find on Twitter X at David W. Cobb. It's David Cobb.
David Cobb joins us now from CBS Sports, talk some college football and college basketball. It feels like forever ago we talked to David because of Christmas, because of New Year's. We've been out the last 2 Mondays, but finally back with David on a Monday. David, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start off with some college football. The big game tonight, only a couple hours away. But let's start with the semifinal games. Michigan over Alabama, a comeback win for them in overtime. And then the second one, Washington's defense stepping up and putting an end to that game against Texas. What did you make of those two semifinals last week?
Yeah, if you really break it down, those two games, the most impressive team in the semifinals was Washington. Yeah. And they kind of tried to give it away late, and Texas got back in it, and it got dicey there at the end due to some sort of unusual circumstances. But for the first 3 quarters of that game, I thought by and large Washington was the most impressive team in the semifinals. So that's why I think you see the line under a touchdown for tonight's game, because there's a lot of respect right now for the Huskies, and they delivered on the big national stage once, and there seems to be some optimism that they can do that again. So I'm not maybe in that camp so much, but if you're just going based off what we saw in the semifinals, it's hard not to like what you saw from Washington.
And David, if we're going another close game, they beat Texas by 6. They beat Oregon by 3 in the Pac-12 championship game. They won their big rival game against Washington State by 3. They beat Oregon State by 2 at Corvallis. They won by 7 over Utah. They 10 over USC. That was kind of the blowout of the year for them. I mean, they beat Oregon 3 in the regular season, Arizona 7 in the regular season. They know what it's like to be, minute 50 to play, and you got to go 80 yards to win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 straight victories by 10 points or less by Washington. That's a world that Michigan has not lived in. Now, I know late in the season, like Michigan played around with Maryland, and Penn State at least kept it close, but Michigan never really felt like they were going to lose those games. But Michigan did have to rally against Alabama in the second half, so they were tested there. They had to come up with big plays when it counted, and Alabama tripped over itself a lot and it made it easy for them. And that's something that I don't think Washington will do. Like, yeah, I know against Texas, there were so Washington didn't close that game out as well as they have. But when you've won 10 games in a row by 10 games or less, you know how to get it done in the clutch. So if we end up in a close game in the fourth quarter, that does probably favor Washington because they're so comfortable and familiar with those circumstances from the season they've gone through. But don't forget, it was TCU that was kind of that same way last year, and then they just went into the national title game and got crushed. And I hope that's not what happens tonight. I think Washington's better than TCU, but this Michigan team is similar to the Georgia teams of the past two seasons in the way that they've just been the best all season long, and maybe we've almost gotten bored or overlooked their dominance because it's become so routine, and we've become so fixated on the sign-stealing scandal and on Jim Harbaugh and on everything else that we've sort of just overlooked the fact that Michigan has just been one of the most dominant teams of the century in college football.
David, tell me how you think through the prism of SEC guy. How do you think we watched the game tonight? How would you diagnose how we're feeling watching tonight?
I think there's a little bit of a SEC versus Big Ten rivalry forming because tonight marks the end of the Power 5 era because this is the end of the Pac-12. And it goes into, are we going to call it the Power 4 or is it really the Power 2? And
or is it Fox versus ESPN?
Exactly right. And so it's Michigan representing that Big Ten, representing that arch nemesis of the SEC to a certain extent. And of course, like Washington is joining the Big Ten next season, but for tonight, they're kind of a little underdog. The team from the league that's going away, and the team that doesn't have all the 5-star prospects. I think nationally, Washington is going to be pretty sympathetic here. I think they're going to be the team that a lot of people turn on their TV and they want that team to win because they're a little bit more underdogs. They've got the Michael Penix versus J.J. McCarthy is a perfect example because J.J. McCarthy was this 5-star quarterback, the highly recruited kid who just sort of embodies Jim Harbaugh to a certain degree. He's like Jim Harbaugh Jr. And then Michael Penix is the guy who was less recruited, who ended up at Indiana, who's gone through injuries, who's came so close to quitting football because of how difficult it got for him to just go out there and play after all the injuries he went through. And now he's on the national stage with the spotlight. And I think that lends itself to him being a more likable and more favorable character tonight in that matchup. So I think the SEC and the country as a whole are going to root for Washington tonight and feel more of a kinship with them, especially with all the sign-stealing stuff that Michigan put us through this season.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I'm curious on the Washington side. We saw running back Dylan Johnson go down in that semifinal game, kind of the last minute of that game that kind of really played into that comeback attempt for Texas, but he says he's good to go. He's ready to rock and roll tonight in this game. He's not 100%, but this is a 1,000-yard back for Washington that they've really, as much as everyone wants to talk about Michael Penix and this passing game, he's been massive for Washington this year. How much of an impact will his health be tonight?
Yeah, it's huge. The Mississippi State transfer, kind of randomly, for those around the area who may remember that name. I mean, he was a part of the Mike Leach teams at Mississippi State, and maybe no coincidence that Will Rogers is going to go out to Washington because maybe Dylan Johnson told him, hey, they got a pretty good thing going out here. Come on out. But no, so it's huge because they don't really have a second back because teams that run the football more, they need a second back to really split the carries. Washington doesn't run it a ton, so they really rely on Dylan Johnson both as a runner and as a receiver out of the backfield. So if he's not 100%, they've got to rely on guys who've not played a ton this year. I mean, their second leading rusher doesn't even have 200 yards on the ground this season. So over these next couple of hours, as those guys start to trickle into the stadium, be monitoring the social media and such, because there will be some reports, I'm sure, coming out about what he looks like in warm-ups. Does he, have the pads on when the rest of the guys have the pads on? And, is he limited, or does he look like he's a full go? That's a big storyline going into this game.
You're right. The next time Washington takes the football field, starting at quarterback, Will Rogers.
That's right.
Right. How about that? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, this era of college football. So if Michael Penix Jr., heaven forbid, I hope this doesn't happen, if he were to exit tonight's game, okay, let's just say his helmet pops off, and he has to come out for a play due to the rules. The guy who would be coming in as his backup is Dylan Morris, who has already said he is going to transfer. So it's possible that the quarterback who could end up playing some for Washington tonight in a disaster scenario is a guy who's already said he's not going to come back, which is just wild that, in the national championship game, you could have a guy in the portal. I think he's going to James Madison, actually, so the fact that next year's James Madison quarterback could be taking meaningful snaps for Washington in the national title game is kind of wild. That's the world we live in now, and both of these teams are going to look drastically different next season. They play next season, too, as part of the Big Ten. I mean, when I say tonight's the end of an era, I mean, it really is. I mean,
it is.
It's for the Pac-12. This is it for the 14 playoff, and so it's kind of a historic night.
It is a historic night. David Cobb with us from CBS Sports on college football and college basketball. We will get to some college basketball, certainly about locally, and locally meaning the Memphis Tigers, and also the Tennessee Vols with a big win Saturday over Ole Miss at Thompson Bowling. But one thing on the bowls, give us your big takeaway on non-playoff bowl games. What was something tangible done out there in the bowl season that will really matter next year?
Well, I thought Garrett Nussmeier playing well for LSU was big. LSU's going through a lot of upheaval right now. I mean, their coaching staff Brian Kelly is flipping that thing. They are losing the Heisman Trophy winner. They're losing Malik Neighbors. They got a lot to fix on the defensive side of the ball. They need Garrett Nussmeier to be a dude at quarterback. And he's not going to be Jaden Daniels in terms of the leg, but he might remind some people of Joe Burrow just a bit with the way he can sling the football around. And he may not have the receiver talent next year that Joe Burrow had when they went on their run in 19, but that's twice now in Garrett Nussmeier's career where he's come into a postseason game and really played well. So that stuck out to me. Ole Miss getting to 11 wins, that was big, really stepped on the gas in the second half a little bit against Penn State. And then, of course, my other takeaway is, we got to see a Pop-Tart eaten on the field after a bowl game. How great was that? So
it was glorious. I can't eat one now and not think of it.
Well,
exactly. I mean, how much was that worth in marketing for Pop-Tarts?
It's huge.
I reloaded on Pop-Tarts over the weekend, Brian. I sent Brian a picture last week. I'll always think of bowl season 2023 every time I have a Pop-Tart. Back to Garrett Nussmeier for just a second, and then we're going to get to basketball. LSU next year, 2 of their first 4 games play USC in Vegas opening weekend, and then week 4 they play UCLA in Baton Rouge. So they get both USC and UCLA proud members of the Big Ten.
Yeah, what a weird way to start the season for LSU as the SEC transitions, and the fact that those are SEC Big Ten games, wild. It's going to be a huge beginning to the season for Brian Kelly and for really that entire class of guys who will be third-year coaches at their schools next season. Because we looked at Brian Kelly as a slam dunk A+ hire at LSU. We looked at Lincoln Riley as a slam dunk A+ hire at USC. And I don't know that the results have quite been what either of those programs hoped for through 2 seasons. Certainly, this past season was some disappointment, I think, especially for USC. And then let's throw Mario Cristobal into that category, too, who was lauded as this great hire for Miami. And meanwhile, the guy who replaced him at Oregon has done more at Oregon than he ever did in his time there. So I think that those first couple of weeks are going to be huge for those third year.
And Cristobal will be another third-year versus third-year guy when he faces Billy Napier opening weekend.
Yeah, oh gosh, I mean, Florida is. I mean, I'm almost ready. I'm almost to the point where I'm ready to look at odds for who will be Florida's next coach, and is it going to be Jed Fish at Arizona going there or not?
His alma mater.
Yeah. The story I think is that he put. I don't know. I don't want to get it wrong.
He stalked Spurrier.
He did, exactly. He put, like, notes under Spurrier's windshield wipers asking for, like, an internship, basically. That
Covered up his entire viewing of his windshield, and he was roommates with Howie Roseman that runs the Eagles.
Wow. Right. Yeah, so and he's done a great job at Arizona. So, anyway, yeah, big year for the third-year coaches. It's just like you just never know who's going to work out as a coach in college football because you would have thought Cristobal and Riley and Kelly were slam dunk. But meanwhile, here at the end of year 2 of that crazy coaching cycle, it's Kalen DeBoer, who nobody had ever heard of, right? Coming from Fresno State, who's now like 25-2 and has his team playing for a national title tonight. Like, go figure.
Yeah, it's incredible. We're talking to David Cobb. He joins us every week, talk college football and college basketball from CBS Sports. Let's get to some college basketball, David, and start off with the Tigers. They win again yesterday, their 8th win in a row over SMU, a 3-point win. But some people are a little concerned about the latest play for the Tigers after those 3 back-to-back wins over top 25 opponents. A 2-point win over Vanderbilt, an 11-point win that was much closer against Austin Peay, a 3-point win against Tulsa, and then a 3-point win against SMU. What have you seen out of this Tiger team over these last 4 games?
Well, I mean, I think it speaks to Memphis that they were able to rally and beat SMU down 15 in the first half and end up winning that game in dramatic fashion. So, I mean, there is just never a dull moment with Memphis basketball. Like, even today, with the transfers and Mikey Williams getting in the portal and a couple of other guys. Now, a little bit of you got the Caleb Mills thing that they're working through. That's a tough injury. At the end of the day, though, they're winning. That's right. So I think that's the most important thing because when you're a ranked team in a bad league, you get everybody's best shot. FAU is learning that lesson the hard way. They went and lost at Charlotte over the weekend. And that's not great for Memphis because it drags down FAU's metrics, which therefore hurts the AAC. But at least with Memphis, they're managing to win even on nights when they don't have their best. And I think that's what good teams do. So, yeah, they got a lot to figure out. Like the advanced analytics metrics don't love Memphis right now, but I see a lot of wins. And I think that's ultimately what it comes down to is that it's not pretty and maybe
last year.
Yeah, and, like David Jones isn't going to go for 30 every night. He's going to be the focal point of every opposing scouting report from now on. But it's so key to have a veteran guy like Javon Quinterly there who's been through some battles who now, 2 games in a row has bailed him out with a big-time late shot. So, I mean, I'm not really all that worried because there were always going to be growing pains with this team. When you go and look at the fact that they haven't ever played together before, I mean, they're 343 in minutes continuity. So, yeah, there's going to be some bumps on the road, and they got plenty of time to figure it out. And the fact that they're winning while they figure it out is I think, a really good thing.
David, in fact, not only am I not worried, I'm buoyed by the last 2 games. By doing that on the road, I'm not going to try to make the arena in Tulsa into Cameron Indoor. It was about half full, but it was still an opposing gym on opening night of league play. And yesterday afternoon in Memphis, there have been a lot of teams that would have lost that game to SMU. They found a way to dig deep and win, and it's why I think it's just so mindless. All the conversation, the brain power that has been spent over what they should be ranked, and now the picking at and parsing of the net. To heck with all that. If Memphis finishes 15-3 or 16-2 in conference play and gets to at least the finals of the AAC tournament, I know human nature and I know humans draw up that bracket. Memphis will be no worse than a 4 seed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of it's going to depend on, like, some of these games that are dragging them down in the net right now. that maybe aren't considered quad one games or whatever, they will be considered quad one by the end of the year because Arkansas is going to improve. Missouri's going to improve. Texas A&M, which has been playing like garbage, they're going to get better as the season goes along. So some of these victories that maybe don't have the right classification or whatever right now, they'll get better as the year goes along. And Memphis will too. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a really good chance this team ends up with the best NCAA tournament seeding since the John Calipari era. That's the way it's trending, the way I see it. I mean, I know the net doesn't love them right now, but the net has a way of sorting everything out. And yeah, 15-3, 16-2, which is very possible in the AAC. It's going to be totally fine. You'll love.
I think should be expected.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, FAU is the only team that you should, maybe be an underdog against when you play at their place. Every other team on this schedule that Memphis is going to face, they ought to be favored to beat. So, yeah, you're going to slip up a couple of times. but you won't.
Stubber at UAB. I had Wichita State in the preseason. I don't think that at Wichita State. I don't think that anymore. And now it looks like at Moody will be very difficult.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like SMU is decent now. They're a lot better than they were. Even Tulsa is better. I mean, none of these teams other than Memphis or FAU have a chance to be at-large teams to the NCAA tournament, but with North Texas, SMU, Tulsa, these teams are better than they have been. In North Texas' case, they've managed to sustain pretty well after losing Grant McCaslin to Texas Tech. So I mean, the league isn't good. Like, you can't kid yourself, but there's not it's not just completely atrocious, aside from like UTSA.
Right. It's not as dreadful as I thought 2 weeks ago it would be.
Yeah, like East Carolina's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple of really bad teams, but I mean, that's every league. So I mean, it's I mean, Memphis is going to lose a couple games in this conference. That's just the way. I mean, that's just the way basketball is, right?
Yeah.
They're showing the ability, much like, okay, let's go back to Washington in the football conversation. They're winning close games. Like, it doesn't matter what the metrics say. If you're winning, you're winning, and that gets you where you want to go. And I feel like Memphis is as a veteran team, knows how to win.
Yeah. Well, and Davey, you're talking about teams in the net that Memphis has already played and how they'll improve as the season goes on. I noticed one team you didn't mention is Michigan.
Yeah.
And the struggle continues.
It's too far
for them.
gone.
4 losses in a row now, and I mean now 6-9 on the season. Lost yesterday to Penn State.
Gave that game away
really,
yesterday.
it was in the Palestra, Brett. I mean, you can't take anything for granted in the Palestra. But still, I mean, 4 games in a row now, all losses for Michigan. What is going on? Like Brett said, they were up by double digits for most of that game until kind of midway in the second half. What is going on right now at Michigan?
Yeah, a lot's going on at Michigan right now. Well, first off, they lose 2 first-round draft picks in Jet Howard and Kobe Buffkin. Then their best player, Hunter Dickinson, transfers to Kansas. Then Juwan Howard has heart surgery over the offseason. Phil Martelli ends up coaching them. And then Juwan Howard reportedly got into it with their strength coach a few weeks ago. And that raised questions over whether or not he would even continue as the coach. Because you remember, he's kind of already on probation after he hit that Wisconsin assistant a couple years ago. So, like, the Juwan Howard era of Michigan basketball had some really nice highs early on where they exceeded expectations, and they've been to some Sweet 16s under him and Elite 8 even. But it's bottoming out fast. And maybe he gets the Patrick Ewing treatment, and they look the other way and forgive a terrible season, and he gets one more. But if he were anybody else, they would be getting the short list together right now for who's going to replace him here in about 8 weeks. Wow. And I'm not convinced they won't part with him anyway because of some of that past stuff, the off the court. Well, sort of his just struggles with his temper, I guess, to put it bluntly. Those are the sort of things that reduce the patience of athletic directors. So Michigan's in a world of hurt right now, and that win is not going to be one that ages well necessarily for Memphis. But the good news is that Michigan playing in the Big Ten, they're not going to fall that far. I mean, there's no way that's anything other than at worst a quad 2 win for Memphis.
And isn't it a little bit, doesn't it serve a little bit as a cautionary tale if Jim Harbaugh does move on for them to quickly anoint a guy that has no head coaching experience as football coach? And I think they're going to.
Yeah, Sharon Moore would be the obvious candidate for Michigan. I mean, he won the loyalty of that fan base with the passion and emotion and the success that he coached with while Jim Harbaugh was out. And at this point in the calendar, it's hard to do a whole coaching search when you've already got your class signed and whatnot. I mean, it would be kind of funny, right? Like if they went out and tried to get Kalen DeBoer, maybe, because he's the up and comer, the guy with all the shine right now, who's clearly knows what he's doing. But
Mark Stoops. I think my favorite Sharon Moore quote of the year is post game, and it was the first game I think after the suspension. Or over the sign stealing. Yeah, it was at Penn State, wasn't it? Yeah. And he's in tears. He's very emotional, and he's thanking the baby Jesus and dropped 3 F-bombs.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. The only other F-bomb coach interview that I can recall from this season was Zach Arnett at Mississippi State. And, with Cole Kubelik after one of their wins.
But you work into baby Jesus and drop 3 F-bombs. I think that's the classic tug of war, isn't it?
I know, right? Like, does that absolve you of your transgression? I'm not sure. I don't think it works that way. But yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's ready for the spotlight.
I meant well, then I set him out. I mean, come on.
Good Lord.
He'll have his hands full if Harbaugh jets. And I mean, Michigan might be bad next season, because especially if McCarthy leaves, there's going to be 10 or 12 guys from this team we're about to watch in a couple hours who are going to be in the NFL next season. And so I wouldn't blame Harbaugh necessarily if he says, maybe it's time for me to get out of here. The thing is, though, that everybody forgets in this conversation, that there has to be an NFL team that wants to hire him.
That's true.
And I know he's had success in the NFL in the past, but there's only 32 of those jobs, and what?
Great point, David. Great point. Are you bidding against yourself? Do you really know someone in the NFL really wants him?
Exactly right, and I'm not sure. So if somebody offers him an NFL head coaching job and he gets a pay raise out of it, he can leave Michigan after winning a national title when the cupboard's about to be bare, then yeah, of course. But the key ingredient in all of that is somebody actually offering him a job.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, last thing, who's your pick tonight? Who wins it all?
Yeah, I'm going Michigan. I think they were the best team in college football by a significant margin this season. Washington, all those close games. I mean, I think it says a lot about who they are, their character, their toughness, right? But same thing with TCU last year, and look what happened in that game. So I'm not saying it's going to be 63-7 or whatever we had a year ago, but I think Michigan wins this game by a touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns, because they're more physical. This Washington offense hasn't seen a defense like this. And then offensively, Michigan, I think, with Blake Corum, is going to be able to move the chain and keep the clock running with Corum on the ground, which keeps the Washington offense off the field. So, yeah, I'm going Wolverine.
Well, it should be a fun one tonight.
Happy New Year.
Houston. Yeah, Happy New Year, David, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, fellas, I appreciate it. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, David. David Cobby joins us every single Monday from CBS Sports Talk college football and college basketball. But we need to get to a break. When we come back, a lot happened over the weekend in the NFL. We're still kind of waiting to see if we get some more firings today. Only 2 official so far today. So let's go ahead, get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about everything that happened in the NFL yesterday and what to look forward to this weekend in the playoffs. That's next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether it's date night, a birthday, or just because, raise a steak in celebration at Ruth's Chris. Open in the Regalia Shopping Center at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway. Treat yourself to one of our classic USDA prime beef steaks, seasoned and broiled to perfection. Then serve sizzling hot on one of Ruth's signature 500-degree plates. Visit Ruth'sChris.com to make a reservation. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Memphis. This is how celebrating more is done.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Hey, Doc. Nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. There's still some flashing lights over here on a stalled vehicle. They've moved it over as far as they can on 240 East at Walnut Grove. It's pretty slow at times over here now as you come past Billmore's Parkway on 240 East up by Poplar, working your way up to Walnut Grove. With this weather in our area this afternoon, please allow yourself a little bit of extra time. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525. Highway 64 is your Valentine's Day headquarters. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, it's officially wild card week in the NFL as Week 18 wrapped up with a really interesting game last night between the Bills and the Dolphins. It wasn't a perfect game by any means. It wasn't the most appealing game if you like offenses last night with all of the interceptions, turnovers, fumbles, whatever it might be. But it came to a close last night. We talked about the standings earlier, how the playoff is going to set up, and I'm just here. You know, me and Johnny were already arguing over there during the last break. Yeah, I'm very proud of my Dallas Cowboys, Johnny.
Get that parade route back
that's
out.
Right. I mean, we got the plans. They might be a little, crumbled, and we might had to take them out of their
few X outs.
Yeah, but hey, we're back. 2 seed, baby.
Brian, I feel so sorry for you, man.
I'm sorry?
You're so delusional. Hey, Brian, me and you both
We'll be
know.
here for him, won't we, Johnny?
Yes, we're going to be here for you. We're going to be here for you, man.
Our Cowboys, Brett.
Well, kind of.
Huh.
Okay,
Yeah,
Brett.
it
Hey, I like when you said kind of, because we all know what's this train going to lead. It's okay,
I think
man.
the Packers can beat them Sunday.
Oh,
Me
no.
too.
Oh, no. Brett, if that happens,
We'll be here for you.
and we'll be talking about the
Won't we,
next
Johnny?
head coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm here for him.
And seriously, we will.
Yeah, we will.
With a 1-point loss Sunday to the Packers, he's out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jerry Jones trying to win that Super Bowl. And if there's another early exit, especially at home.
Jerry Wayne can buy he can buy that yellow submarine to go hide off in during COVID during the draft, but he's not buying green bananas.
Nope, and he's not waiting for this whole plan to play out.
When he went out there in Jacques Cousteau's underwater,
it's beautiful.
That submarine.
Well, where is he? What is he? Is this like a basement or something? And this was like, no, he's on a yacht. Oh, okay.
I don't know what the topper of weird COVID was, but that's close.
I mean, honestly, Brett, in terms of like
Write that down. July show.
Yeah.
I know. I so badly don't even want to remember anything around COVID. I don't know that I could do it. But the draft was really weird.
It was weird. It was very weird.
But that day in early September, and I want to say it was a Friday afternoon in September, that we had Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the 3 Triple Crown horse races. Was the U.S. Open in golf going on then?
Might have been. I remember it was a huge day.
And had baseball in front of no fans.
Right.
Because being outside around somebody might do you in, which was just wow. I don't know that I can do, but Jerry Jones in that submarine was something.
I mean, maybe top 5 places to be during COVID is somewhere
20,000 leagues under the sea.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a good spot to be in. But no, I mean, we'll see a move if they do lose to the Packers. I'm confident in the Cowboys and what they can do.
How confident? 1 to 10. How confident?
How confident?
No. Let's do it this way.
Okay.
Let's do it this way. Are you Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman confident? Are you Tony Romo confident?
Which one are you?
I'm.
Ooh, that's a lot of I'm.
You had to think about it too long. You're not.
You're not.
They're at home. I'm confident. They're at home.
You're not confident.
They don't lose at home. It seems
and
great.
You know, Packer fans travel.
They travel.
They
hey,
travel,
great
Brett.
point, Brett. That's a great point. They travel.
What about the Buffalo fans last night?
Ooh.
Took over Miami,
and Brett,
which I can't blame them.
it's a great spot to
I'd
take
get out
over,
of.
I mean.
I'd get out of the North Pole too if I could.
Yeah, especially when it's winter and freezing. Go down to South Beach. And
Who in the world would live there?
enjoy a couple of. Well, Brett. I mean, we know. I mean, it explains why Bills Mafia acts the way they do. I mean, look at the temperature and the weather they're living in. I mean,
jumped through a table
crazy.
too.
Yes, I mean obviously I could tell you because of how cold it gets there that they're crazy. I didn't need to see them jump through a table.
The day I had to buy a snowblower, I'm moving.
Yeah. The more south, the better. But no, I mean it's spot to take over. Miami seems to be the best one, and I saw on social media that there is a, I guess, clause or something when you buy season tickets for the Miami Dolphins that they, I guess, get alerts when their season ticket holders sell their tickets for a game, and so they can keep track of who is actually using their tickets and who is reselling them, and they have a term in their terms and conditions that says if we deem that you resell your tickets too much, we can deny you re-upping next year for season tickets.
Is that right?
And yeah, supposedly this was a big weekend of Miami watching who was reselling tickets because
they got a long list then.
Bills, because how many Bills fans were down there? They were not happy.
It was an extraordinary big number. I mean, it was overwhelmingly a Buffalo Bills house.
Oh, absolutely, and it definitely helped them out last night. I mean, the Dolphins have been so good at home this year, just kind of like how the Cowboys have been. But I mean, when you were watching that game and the first quarter when the Bills are driving and you're hearing this just loud noise of fans cheering, you're going, "What is going on? This is in Miami, isn't it?" And I mean, they travel very well.
The end of the Saints-Falcons game, I think everybody knew that Arthur Smith, after 3 straight 7 and 10s, was probably going to be out in Atlanta. That's just the business of pro football. He knows it. He'll recycle. He'll be a coordinator again for someone to be really good, and he'll get another crack. Yeah. But at the end, did you think what the Saints did in scoring was bad look?
I did. I mean, you're up by so much, and then I thought it was, but at the end of the day, who really cares? But
I did from this point of view. Why not just take a knee in the game for the remote risk of someone being injured, and instead of today going and cleaning the locker out for both teams because neither team were really going to the playoffs. Saints had a little bit of a chance, but clean out the locker, shut it down day, and then head off to a vacation. Instead, the chance of heading off to get a cast reset.
Right. No, that's a good point. But I mean, certainly. The Saints coaching staff wanted to knee it out and end it, and Jameis Winston
got crossed up.
Yeah,
those switcheroo.
Who is a Jameis Winston, who is a gem when it comes to just like audio clips of him. I mean, he's incredible. He said they decided as a team when they were out there, we're gonna punch this one in and get a touchdown.
Okay, now no love lost in that division, in the NFC South. I think it is one of the probably least reported, really hateful dislike of fan bases in the NFL. Every matchup, and we know that division really trades it around. Like you win it this year, and then the next one wins it. Here's what I do if I'm the Falcons next year when we play in a division game. So y'all didn't want to lay down at the end of the game,
right?
When they're ahead, and they kind of want to lay down, pour it on. And even if you're behind and they decide, well, we were wrong last year, try to lay your guy across from you out.
Yeah, well, no, and that's kind of, I've heard a lot of people say this when teams go for the fake kneel and go and score some. It's kind of the fear
we're hurting somebody next time.
Exactly. Of we're not gonna let up and just let you have the knee. We're gonna go hard.
We're coming for your knee.
Exactly. And so that's always and you're right. I mean, that was so when Jameis Winston was talking to reporters and he said, yeah, it wasn't coach's idea, it was our idea. We just wanted to go, and this guy's
went rogue.
Blood, sweat, and tears for us. We wanted to get him in the end zone. And one of the reporters said, y'all have to see them 2 times every year. Like, was that really a good idea? They're going to remember that next year. And Jameis Winston was basically like, well, what would you have done? What would you have done if you were in my scenario?
Would take a knee and hope nobody got hurt and shake hands and everybody head to the offseason.
That's right. And it was hilarious because it was so weird because both the reporter and Jameis Winston said the word respectfully like 30 times. They're both like, well, respectfully, you answered my question respectfully. I'm going to answer yours respectfully, but I would respectfully just take a knee. And then Jameis Winston was like, well, I respectfully disagree with that, but I respect you being respectful. It was weird. It was very weird from start to finish.
I thought that should have been on C-SPAN. All the good friend and dear colleague garbage.
It was so weird. I heard
that neither were meaning.
No, they both wanted zero of that conversation.
Now, the big comeback to Arthur Smith is, and I know he knows this, and sure doesn't, and I wish him so well.
Yeah.
It's pro football.
Exactly. Yeah.
This ain't Saturday morning SYS.
No. Or I mean, it's the pros. I mean, you got to go out there and compete. And you're getting paid just as much as they are.
Mostly unnecessary.
Sure, absolutely. And Brett, I came in from a different standpoint. A week ago when Tennessee was trying to punch one in against Iowa. Now, we had the under in that game, so we had reason to be mad about that. But
I loved it when Tennessee did it.
You did. I did not. But I also had monetary reasons not to like it. But I didn't like it yesterday either. It is what it is.
I didn't mind it, but it was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary for sure. But I think I'm with you. I didn't really mind it. I didn't care one way or the other.
Last game as a member of the Titans, we think, for Derrick Henry, both sides pretty much said it, and he had the on-field tribute to everybody. And if you thought that on the field and then his press conference words were good, just go to YouTube and go back and listen to his Heisman Trophy acceptance speech. That is the kind of guy that he is. And Johnny, I know you appreciate it. He knows everybody in the building. He knows the student. He knew the student managers. He knew the diet staff. He knew everybody, and he's that kind of guy. And he even in his Heisman speech, he even mentioned a teammate, Altie Tenpenny, who was number 1 running back in Arkansas and was there vying for playing time against him. Didn't work out, and then later Altie Tenpenny was killed in a car wreck. He mentioned, paid tribute to him in his Heisman speech and to his family. And that really matters to people. And I've compared Derrick Henry so much to Earl Campbell through the years and with that franchise. And how about these numbers? Derrick Henry, 8 years with the Tennessee Titans, 9,502 yards, 3-4 in the playoffs. Earl Campbell, 7 years with the Houston Oilers, that franchise, 7 years, so a year less, 8,574 yards, 3-3 in the playoffs. Okay. They're the same guy.
That's
great player. Team did nothing.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And maybe I think he showed yesterday a good game for him. yesterday kind of showed, hey, I still got stuff in the tank, and certainly there will be a team that goes after
Dallas.
I would love it, Brett. I would walk in.
That would be a great
with
fit.
a Derrick
Him and
Henry
Tony Pollard.
jersey the first day after the signing.
Thunder and Lightning with him and Tony.
Yeah, I would love that. Would be incredible. Last thing, Brett, because I found this interesting. We mentioned already Arthur Smith being fired right at midnight last night. I mean, the first second they made it official, and I believe they had a press conference about an hour or so ago. But also Ron Rivera fired. That was another one that a lot of people
waited because yesterday was his birthday.
That's right, which is rough. But he gets officially fired this morning. But then we get the news that the Commanders are hiring ex-NBA executive Bob Myers to kind of be the head of all of this overhaul. I think a great hire for them.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. And now I wonder how this will affect Bob Myers and his broadcasting.
It's a very good question.
Because that's really getting ready to start picking up.
It really is. That's a good question. And that's me and Johnny Radio were talking about that earlier today, and he's kind of said the same thing. He said, I've seen him on ESPN, and he does a good job on ESPN.
Oh, he's going to be great.
He does a really good job.
I said he would be breakout media star of 2024, and he may not put a headset on now with his consulting work in a real basketball field to the Commanders with Magic there and now Bob Myers and
checking all the boxes.
And they really are. And when you think about places for Bill Belichick, I think the Raiders are going to stay with Antonio Pierce. I think they are, and that's not a bad move.
No.
But remember who's now part of the Raider organization? Tom Brady.
That's right.
Tom Brady make a call to Bill Belichick.
I mean, Fred. I mean, it seems like
and the call would go like this. Coach, these clowns don't have a clue what they're doing. You come here and run everything.
They need you down here. That'd be interesting. I mean, it's a lot of interesting spots for that Bill Belichick has been tied to.
It sure is. Two great spots that we like to be tied to, and that's both locations for the commissary. The new Collierville commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar are the original in Germantown. Since 1981, they've been there, and the Collierville commissary is just perfect for any big group to enjoy and to watch the playoff games and enjoy great fun and great times. Memphis-style barbecue and ribs done the slow-cooked Memphis way. If you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary right now to 33733. This is a good time to start thinking about dinner plans, and they've got you covered at either location with the commissary. Start that feast with appetizers like the cheese platter, the tamales, the smoked chicken wings, or the barbecue nachos made famous, created, invented at the Germantown commissary in the early 80s, and now a staple everywhere, and especially at sports. Dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich with all the sides like deviled eggs, slaw, beans, bread, and you can order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. The salads are great, and I know heresy to talk about in a barbecue town with two great places like the commissary. They have the hamburger, one of the best cheeseburgers in town at both commissary locations, and the desserts like the strawberry cake, the banana pudding, the lemon icebox pie. Here's the number, 901-754-5540, or go online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown. The party areas, the orders to go, the catering, the tailgating, and the good times that we've had through all the years at both locations at the commissary. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com.
Well, let's get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your buddy Johnny Radio. I'm here with Mark, the owner of Dyer's, out in Collierville's historic town square, where they've been cooking up them burgers since 1912, the old-fashioned way. Mark, what's going on in life? I see you got your 4 kids with you. What do they love about Dyer's?
Man, they love everything about Dyer's. They love all the great food that we serve, and they really like eating our good food and watching some of their favorite sports.
Braden, what do you like at Dyer's?
I like a bacon burger with fries, a milkshake, and with a Tigers game in the background.
Carter, who's your favorite football team?
The Carolina Panthers, and just with some macaroni with that sounds amazing.
My man Beckham, what's your favorite food over at Dyer's?
We like the double cheeseburgers.
Kinley, what is your favorite dish over at Dyer's?
Daddy's cheeseburgers and the Dallas Cowboys game in the background.
Just remember, everybody, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team out and eat at our place.
So head on over to Dyer's in Collierville's historic town square.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy. The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I have two big numbers today, and I'm really excited about both of them. Two, I think, very strong big numbers for today. My first big number is 11. Not so big of a number, but there's another big number associated with this, but I don't want to highlight the negatives. I want to highlight the positives. Nova Southeastern, a Division II college that Jonathan Pierre came from, who's now on the Memphis basketball roster. Nova Southeastern had its 62-game regular season win streak snapped last Wednesday in a 93-82 loss to Florida Southern. It was an NCAA Division II record. The team was undefeated in the 2021-22 season, or they were national champions last year. In the 2021-22 season, they were undefeated but lost in the fourth round of their NCAA tournament. And their last regular season loss was on February 29th, 2020 in a 98-89 loss to Embry-Riddle.
Leap day.
Wow, Leap day. It was also before COVID-19 even hit. So it's been a long time since the last time Nova Southeastern lost, but they lost last Wednesday. They've had 5 starters. They lost 5 starters from last year's team. 4 of them that went to the Division I. The other one graduated. But I say all of that to say over the weekend, the Sharks extended, and I don't know why I had 11. 52 is my big number, because over the weekend, the Sharks extended their home winning streak to 52 games with a win over the University of Tampa.
Oh, hey, I like it.
Unbelievable.
I like it, Brian. I like it. I like it.
Wow.
They're really good at home. The guys that transferred out of their program, Georgia, Memphis, College of Charleston, and Samford. So some pretty good programs that those guys transferred to. My other big number, my final big number for today is 38. Amani Bates over the weekend recorded a career-high 38 points, going 9 for 15 from 3 in a Cleveland Charge win over the Santa Cruz Warriors. Over his last 4 games, Bates is shooting a combined 22 for 44. That's 50% from 3. So he is really shooting the ball well. Yeah. His coaches have been talking about his improvements defensively. So Amani Bates really playing well in the G League.
Can you tell me the former Memphis Tigers basketball coach that once was the head coach at the University of Tampa?
I couldn't tell you, Brett. I can't even.
Dana Kirk.
Is it really? Oh, I was going to guess that. I'm going to start. Dana Kirk is going to be my guess for any Tiger basketball history question.
He had been coaching in the Tampa St. Pete High School, and when he coached at Jefferson High School in Tampa, his point guard was Tony La Russa.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he wasn't that much older than Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa loved Dana Kirk.
That's
and
awesome.
Dana Kirk loved, and he loved TLR. My big number is, now it's two numbers that add up into one.
Okay.
But the total number is 31,502.
Ooh, what a number.
Wow. Yeah, 31,502. I get there with this. The college football passing yardage for Jim Harbaugh was 5,214.
Okay.
To go with his NFL passing yards of 26,288 to equal 31,502. Jim Harbaugh was a great player, college player, great pro player. He would give back every one of those yards for one win tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%. That's a
great number, man. I love it.
Played in the AFC Championship game with the Colts. Really outplayed Neil O'Donnell that day for the Steelers. Steelers won, went to the Super Bowl, got beat by the Cowboys in Super Bowl 30, I think. Harbaugh was a really good player.
Yes, he was.
Oh, he absolutely was. But tonight, bigger than a lot of those games that he played in, the chance for the national championship, and maybe his last game coaching in college.
He was the quarterback at Michigan. You're talking about how weird it used to be. The year BYU won their national championship, no playoffs. We voted on it, sorted out by the polls. And back then, the WAC champion would often go and be the home team in the Holiday Bowl.
Okay.
And it was well before Christmas. I'm going to say 17th or 18th. A lot of times, one of the first 1 or 2, 3 bowl games of the bowl season, and Robbie Bosco and BYU beat Michigan, a pretty average Michigan team. Harbaugh was the quarterback of that Michigan team that BYU beat.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a real close game. If BYU doesn't win, they don't come close to being voted. I think Oklahoma was in there. Washington was in the mix back then.
Wow.
But yeah, Robbie Bosco and BYU beat Jim Harbaugh back then.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a good big number, Brett. I'm excited for this game tonight.
I like Harbaugh.
I like Harbaugh too. I know, a lot of people don't like him, but I've never had an issue with him. I mean,
I think he's a hard-edged guy.
Yeah.
And the whole sign stealing was a load of hooey.
It sure was. But it looks like Washington out on the field. We've got College Game Day going on right now on ESPN.
Is Jack Harwood playing? I saw somebody on the stage singing.
Yeah,
is Jack Harwood there?
No, Harlow is I think
Jack Harlow. I'm
there
sorry.
There you go.
Sorry.
No,
what I call it?
Harlow or something. I don't know.
What'd you say, Brett?
I don't know.
I got it confused with Hardenwood. I'm sorry.
Hey, it happens. No, but we have Stanford Steve right now giving his player props for tonight.
If you want to go broke, bet Stanford Steve.
Not great.
Was he about 33% this year on game day?
I don't know.
Brett, you're on fire today, man.
It's so bad they're not even putting up his stats they put up last year.
Oh, there it is. They did.
Is that this past year's or this? That must be this past season. I don't know. Last year.
2023 he was 23 and 37.
It's not great, especially when you're supposed to be the go-to gambling guy.
That's about 35%, isn't it? 23 out of 60.
But hey, he's 2-1 in 2024. So he's really turned it around to start the new year. What are we?
Brian said he turned it around.
What was it?
The new year. He's 2-1.
Had 3 picks on last week's semifinal games. I mean, good Lord. But no, I thought both of us brought strong big numbers today. And Washington out there, they just showed Washington out getting some work on the field. So we get closer and closer, about an hour and a half away from supposedly kickoff. I mean, Johnny? What time do you think we actually kick this game off at?
I don't know.
6:45.
About 6:45.
But it's supposed to start at 6:30. So only about an hour and a half. But we got to get out and wrap up this hour. When we come back to start our third and final hour, we're talking Grizzlies basketball with DeMichael Cole.
We We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. Schedule your holiday gift deliveries today at hogsfly.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. That traffic volume has picked up in the construction zone over here on 55 up by McLemore South Parkway. It's running pretty heavy at times on 240 eastbound, let's say from Perkins all the way out to 385. As you continue on 240 east, that's pretty crowded at times, going up by Poplar up to Walnut Grove, where we had that earlier crash just past Walnut Grove on 240 eastbound. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online right now at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour. And joining us to talk the Grizzlies. The Grizzly beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, DeMichael Cole. I'm not talking Tigers, we're talking Grizzlies. DeMichael Cole joins us now. DeMichael, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a while since we've last been able to catch up with you because of all of the holidays and everything. Happy New Year to you. And now the Grizzlies coming off a weekend with back-to-back wins on a West Coast trip. What have you made of what the Grizzlies have done these last two games?
Yeah, Happy New Year's, guys. It's definitely been a while, but I tell you what, they're starting to get continuity, and it's not just with Ja Morant. It's beyond that, and that's why this last game I said was their best win without Ja, and arguably their best win, period, this season, and that was after the game against the Lakers. Was probably their best win up to that point. So, beating the Suns with Bill, Durant, Booker, all starting and finishing a game was impressive, especially, the way they did it, right? That didn't look like it was fluke to me. It wasn't like, oh, wow, the Grizzlies just had some random player make 10 threes that doesn't typically make threes. They defended. Like Marcus Smart got the late steal on Bradley Beal. Vince Williams got that block on Nurkic, where it looked like Nurkic had an easy layup to make it a 1-point game, in the final minute. It was plays like that. And Jaren Jackson Jr., I said it before the game, the Suns are small. Even when they're big, with Nurkic, he's not the most mobile. And because of that, they don't have an answer for Jaren Jackson Jr. The last time before this game, in this game, he finished with 28 and 10, and basically did it in 3 quarters because he set out pretty much the entire third quarter. But he had 37 points 2 games ago against the Suns. And my mindset the entire time was, I wonder is Jaren going to remember the last time this team seen me, they could not guard me. And he should come out with that same aggressiveness and that dominance, and he did just that. So things are starting to click for them. And the difference now, you say, what was the difference in that game? They didn't have Ja. It's because you got Luke Kennard. You got, Vince Williams. You just got the role pieces around those guys. You got Marcus Smart playing well now. So things are starting to fall in place. And, of course, the Ja Morant factor, this looks like a legit, potential playoff contender, if they can get to that point.
DeMichael, I'm really getting close to saying maybe the best stretch of Zaire Williams, maybe in his career.
Yeah. I think, for me, I got to see it for about another week.
Me too. About ready.
Yeah, but I get why you say that. He knocked down big shots against the Suns. Just that corner 3-pointer comes to mind. The last couple games before that, he had 15 points in both of them. Big against the Lakers. And this is what the Grizzlies need, right? Yeah. We know what you're going to get from the starters. It's been this way all year. Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane, for a lot of times, were scoring 40, close to 50% of the team's points. And then you get Ja, factored into that, and those three are pretty much scoring over 50% of the team's points. And it's outside of the 4 guys, now you got Marcus factored in, Marcus Smart. You just need one more player to have a double-digit scoring night. And Zaire's been that guy lately. Luke Kennard's knocking down 3-pointers like this last game. He only had 9 points, but he made all 3 of his 3-point attempts. So the Suns, after they left him open a couple times, they weren't leaving him anymore. So he has that attention that you need. But Zaire is that other guy who's kind of taking advantage of his opportunity. And that's what the Grizzlies need. They don't need someone come off the bench and score 20 points. They get so much scoring from their starters, and they stagger those guys to the point where one of them is in the game at all times between Ja, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr. But what Zaire has been giving them, in addition to the defense he plays as well, I think he got a turnover on a out-of-bounds situation in the last games where he got pushed while the Suns are trying to inbound the ball and things like that. He's giving them a boost right now.
DeMichael, has the crud, the respiratory stuff, is it just about ran its course through the team? Because I know it hit the team really hard in the time that we didn't get to visit with you, and I saw you last Wednesday night at the Toronto game, and we talked about, they were still kind of coming out of that. Are we about through with that?
I think so. At least to my knowledge at this point. I don't think anything can come back up. But yeah, it was rough. For a while. I think I was telling you, I don't know if people really knew how much Ja was really going through in that stretch. He said it was like a setback for him. After he came back and was starting to get in a little bit of a rhythm. Next thing you know, he's sweating real hard, and this is not even on the court. We're not talking about playing. Just he's sweating because of just how his body was feeling.
Yeah, it went through all of us except for old cast iron Bryant. He hadn't gotten a thing yet.
Though I was the only one that stayed healthy, I guess.
I'm not kidding you, DeMichael. I woke up one night and thought a pipe had burst over my bed. I was so wet.
Man, it got me a little bit towards the end of this week, but I'm starting to come back around myself. But the Grizzlies, Luke Kennard, John Conchar.
If this ain't COVID, I sure don't want it.
It seems like the guys, the Grizzlies, are starting to come out of it, though, for sure.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Well, another guy that's been playing really, really well is Marcus Smart. I mean, back-to-back games with 20-plus points, 29 against the Lakers, 25 against Phoenix. And it really seems like after, the injury kind of came back and it seemed like was trying to still figure brand-new team out and kind of his role. But these past two games, I mean, what have you seen differently out of Marcus Smart these last two games?
He's the key, man. We know Jaren Job can give you 20 every night. Mm-hmm. When Marcus gives you 20, in addition to what those guys are giving you, it's going to be lights out for most teams.
You're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that simple. Because Marcus is going to give you the defense. And boy, has it been good lately. The way he defended LeBron James, numbers aside, because LeBron had a great first quarter and made all those three-pointers, he defended LeBron well just by looking at him.
Yeah.
Physical, forced tough shot, great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing against Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Forced Devin Booker into some tough situations when he switched on to KD, held his own. Bradley Beal, he got the steal on Bradley Beal late in the fourth quarter that kind of, ended the game, in a way. So Marcus Smart's just been so good for them lately. And we talked about it, with his hand, being a problem, and he was missing those shots a couple games before that. And I saw people were telling me, oh, Marcus Smart needs to stop shooting and things like that. And I'm like, man, this dude, I haven't watched Marcus Smart long enough, man. This is not the first time he shot this bad, but each time he finds his way out of it. You don't make it 10 years in this league, especially playing, at the level that he's played. Make it 10 years as a starter, by the way.
Yeah.
Without just being, as impactful and consistent as he's been.
He has been. DeMichael, I'm not ruling out pulling off the unthinkable, especially as we were leaving FedEx Forum last Wednesday night after that lackluster performance defensively and all the way around against Toronto. I just wanted one on this road trip. Tomorrow night in Dallas, it can be the sweep.
Say that last part again for me, Brett.
The Grizzlies could sweep tomorrow night in Dallas. They could sweep this roadie.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, because before this road trip, I said, okay, L.A. is the most winnable in my mind, just because they were struggling. I know, it was the whole thing was, man, L.A. has the Grizzlies number right now. Mm-hmm. But I was looking at it from the perspective, okay, they're struggling. And then it was like between the Suns and the Mavs, honestly, I thought the Suns game would be tougher because of the fact that they were expected to get KD back, and they score a lot of points when those three guys play. And the Grizzlies scored a lot of points to beat them. We haven't seen the Grizzlies score 120 too many times this season. And I would have said probably before the game, it's going to take 120 to beat them. And the Grizzlies did it. So I thought the Mavs game, being that, okay, you're going to put Marcus Smart on one of Kyrie or Luka, and you're probably going to put Vince Williams. Like, that's what we saw in this last game. I think this was the first time we really got to see the Grizzlies do that, where they put Marcus Smart on one guy, put Vince Williams on the other, and just watch them hound them. Like, we're going to get to see more of that going forward, and it's going to be fun to watch. So now you go to this Kyrie you go get Kyrie and Luka, I'm sure one of them, you probably throw Marcus Smart on Luka, and Vince Williams gets Kyrie. And we saw Vince Williams basically kind of shut Kyrie Irving down earlier this season when the Grizzlies beat the Mavs in that game. So, I mean, they match up defensively well. It's all going to come down to the offensive end, and we'll see what happens.
Well, you just mentioned Vince Williams, and kind of his emergence this year has really been fun to watch. A guy that, came in last year, and a lot of, there were some people that were saying, well, keep an eye on this guy. But then this year, he starts getting minutes when everybody's injured, and now is a key contributor off this bench with the team being healthy now. And you mentioned his defense. We've heard, you talked about Kyrie. We heard kind of Luka talk about him as a defensive player. He mentioned last night how him and Kevin Durant have talked about his defensive play. I mean, what is it about Vince Williams that is most impressive to you?
He's not scared. Like, just talking to him, I haven't seen him have that typical young player moment where it's like, wow, man, I'm guarding Kevin Durant. And not saying that people who say that are scared, but like, I think that says something to me. Because you look at, just put yourself in his shoes real quick, and you say, hey, he's finally playing big minutes. And not only is he playing big minutes for the first time, it's, hey, Vince Williams, get out there and go guard Kyrie Irving. Get out there and go guard Tyrese Halliburton. Get out there and go guard Trae Young. Get out there and go guard, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for the Celtics. Now go guard Kevin Durant. Now go guard Luka Doncic. Like, they're throwing him out there, and they're not putting him on guys who are just going to sit in the corner and shoot three-pointers. He's being asked to guard the best of the best in the NBA. And talking to him after games, he's more like, guys, I'm just trying to earn my respect, play my role, be a little, make it tough on guys. He's not like, wow, like, man, it's crazy. I grew up watching KD, and now I'm guarding him. It's none of that.
Yeah.
Like
he's fearless. He's not awestruck. He's respectful. It's really a great story. And DeMichael, what it's going to do, and I have been critical on this front office on missing some in the draft, but if he hits and it sticks, this is a big W for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about it. Like, when you think about Vince Williams, he's on a two-way contract still, and they have to, figure that out and whatnot. But yeah, and I think he's not going to get some regular just, convert his contract and give him some minimum deal. Like, the way he's playing, he can get paid a little bit. Like,
he gets a deal.
Yeah, he's going to get some money. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the three ball is back falling. He went through that stretch where he wasn't really making much, many of his shots. But 19 points, 9 rebounds in his last game. The rebounding is very plus. And it comes into play so much because the Grizzlies, aren't a great rebounding team in terms of their bigs. So to have a wing like that who can consistently, keep plays alive, like, it changes a lot. So he just gives them everything they need. Like, the Grizzlies' weaknesses, the rebounding, the shooting, are his strengths. So he just fits this team. He just fits them perfectly.
And DeMichael, we're going to, after tomorrow night's road game, some time off till Friday, and then one of the better stretches leading into the best day of the year for the Memphis Grizzlies. On Friday night, the Clippers will be here, and we know how that gets FedEx Forum going. Mm-hmm. On Saturday, the Knickerbockers, their one and only trip through town, and then on Monday, Golden State on the federal holiday, on Dr. Martin Luther King Day, the federal holiday commemorating Dr. King. That 3-game stretch, that's as good an in-season stretch of games as the home fans can get.
Right. I mean, 3 really good teams, 3 really good atmospheres. You already said MLK Day, back-to-back, and it's a weekend back-to-back, so bring the kids out. Everyone gets to come out. It's going to be a great time for sure. and 3 really good games. I mean, I can't emphasize that part of it enough.
Yeah.
Only thing it does, it messes us up badly with you next Monday because you'll be writing a game story during this time, and you won't be able to be with us. But we sure appreciate you being with us today. And we've turned to the new year, and I think the Grizzlies have turned a corner on this road trip.
Yeah, they have, and it's all about stacking these type of performances up going forward for them because even now they still don't have much margin for error. You just look, and you got to figure at some point whether it's because right now the 2 teams that are struggling that they have that chance to catch are Golden State and the Lakers because you have to pass both at this point as the standings are constructed. You have to pass both of them to get in the play-in. And I'm just the basketball guy in me and most people to say at least one of those teams is going to go for it sooner or later. Like, one of them is going to really try to make a turnaround. So while they're struggling, while the Lakers are, they beat the Clippers, got a big win on yesterday, but they were struggling, pretty badly before that. Same thing, with the Warriors who they just got beat pretty badly. By the Raptors, and the Grizzlies will get a chance, on MLK Day, get a chance at the Warriors on their own. But Draymond Green is back. We'll see how that impacts things with the Warriors as well. So basically, this stretch coming up, through the rest of this month, a really good opportunity for the Grizzlies to continue to kind of just creep up behind those teams.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a lot of fun, and these next handful of games, really over this next week, will be a lot of fun to watch. But, DeMichael, thanks so much for joining us. We won't be able to talk to you next week because, like Brett said, you'll be in the middle of that game against the Warriors. So we'll try to catch back up with you in 2 weeks, all right?
All right, take care, guys. I'll talk to you then.
Thanks,
Thank you to Michael so much. Thank you so much to Michael Cole with us from the Commercial Appeal on the Grizzlies beat. And when we were together on Friday, Brian, I was really fretting what could happen on this road trip. And right now, sample size is small, but kind of a season saver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these last 2 wins have been huge. We've talked about really how tough it's been for the Grizzlies this year on these road trips. But to go out and start off on Friday night, we mentioned it earlier about how you get down early and it seems like the Lakers are controlling it. But I mean, the 3-point shooting in that game was unbelievable. And then to follow it up with what they did last night against Phoenix has been really, really impressive.
I mostly agree with DeMichael Cole in his comment about one of these two, the Lakers or Golden State. They're going to find that sweet spot. They're going to hit a groove, and they're going to rattle off 19 out of 25. Yeah. I mostly agree with that. And I'm not wishing it, but the Lakers have not had that injury to one of the big 2 yet.
It's a good point, and it's something to certainly keep an eye on because both have
games
so
are coming.
Riddled, with those injuries. So I wouldn't pass that.
And now Golden State with the Chris Paul news, but also the addition back of Draymond Green. In his podcast, he said that he contemplated retirement. I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think that might have just been heat of the moment, and that's kind of what he said in his podcast.
That's like all the boxers; they always retire after every fight. But then they see that purse for that next time, and I'm ready to stay around.
That's exactly what Johnny Radio said earlier. Is you can't walk away from that type of money if you're anybody, even if you're Draymond Green.
And it doesn't take anybody to talk you out of it.
No, it certainly doesn't. So, I saw that earlier this morning. But no, I mean, I think, one of these teams, you got to think with what they've done in the past that they'll kind of hit that stride. But, I would probably bet it's more Washington, or excuse me, the Warriors. I'm looking at ESPN, they got Washington up there. It'd be more the Warriors than I would think it'd be the Lakers.
Free shot tomorrow night for the Grizzlies in Dallas, and then the homestand Friday night against the Clippers, Saturday night against the Knicks, and Monday on Dr. Martin Luther King Day, 5 o'clock local tip. That game will be on TNT against Golden State. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean on the historic square in Collierville since 1961. Charles Hall started working there in his teens, and now with his wife Laura, what a team they've made. They own the place known for all the great boots, and we're going to need them over these next few days. We're going to need some type of boot wear for the next week or so. You need it any time of year, but we're really going to need the rain boots and the cold boots coming up. But they have clothing, they have the accessories, they have a cap for any team and for any season. Work boots, western wear, safety toe, soft toe, and the rubber boots for the conditions we're going to be in over the next few days and that historic cold weather they're talking about in about a week. Boots for every occasion at Hewlett & Dunn from head to toe. They have you covered with every brand imaginable, outerwear, coats, jackets, everything. Ariat, Dan Post, Anderson Bean, whether for men or women, they've got it. Men's and women's clothing, the jackets, the Filson jackets, the jeans, the pants, the shirts, the shorts, outerwear, and the best duckhead collection you'll find anywhere. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street or go to HewlettDunn.com. They're on the square in Collierville, and they invite you out. Hats, boot care products, sunglasses, and every area team snapback cool hat you can think of for Mississippi State, for Tennessee, the Tigers, Ole Miss, and the Razorbacks. For travel, the bag selection, it's top-notch. HewlettDunn.com. But stop by, visit, and say hello at 111 North Center Street on the historic square in Collierville at Hewlett & Dunn. Bryant, the Lakers with LeBron James and getting that win last night, I thought that was a small sample size season saver for them last night.
Yeah, it seemed like it was kind of what has happened there, where it kind of seems like players versus coach. Really, LeBron versus coach is what it's really.
And coach doesn't win that one.
No. If coach doesn't win that one, and that'd be 1, 2, 3, 5 in a row, and really a lot piling up if you go, 2 of the last whatever.
So who's the magic? So they get rid of Darvin Ham. What's the magic? What's the answer?
That's
I have no clue where they even start on the perfect guy to remedy this. And LeBron has been through some coaches.
No, he has, and we know LeBron's kind of the decision maker wherever he's at.
He is. If he's ready for the coach to go, the coach is going.
The coach is gone, and I think every organization and franchise would say we would rather side with LeBron than any coach. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where they turn, and hopefully that win last night can maybe they can rattle off a couple, and we don't have to get to that point. But I just don't know. I think a move mid-season for the Lakers would be worst case scenario, because be honest, I mean, LeBron doesn't have many more years left. I think you could probably say the same thing about Anthony Davis,
and many more there.
That's
I mean,
true.
the whole Bronny plan, doesn't that feel like one more trip back to Cleveland for the pairing up, playing with his son?
Maybe. It feels like it, but I still don't know if I believe that get Bronny to the NBA.
Who did I see over the weekend? Somebody that I think a lot of proposing a LeBron James deal to Miami.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I don't know.
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
Oh yeah, geez. Who would it be? That'd be weird. I don't know. I think if Bronny does go to the NBA, I would hope it's not after this season. And then that would mean LeBron's got to play at least 2 more years to play.
No, there's no way he's drafted after this year.
No. I mean, I guess if LeBron makes enough of a show of it and says, I'll go
late second round.
I promise you, if you just pick him in the second round, I will come to your franchise. I mean, maybe, but I think it would be an awful decision.
I do too.
So, I mean, but
that's sideshow, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. But then, Brett, you're talking about if you do want to play with your son, that's at least now 2 more years, and I mean, we're running out of runway for LeBron. It seems like. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It's LeBron James.
Approaching 40?
Yeah. So, I mean, 20 plus years in the NBA and keep going. I mean, he's looking good right now, but is that going to still be the same thing in 2 years? I don't know.
And proof positive that everything ends.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods on Sunday, he may have the black ball cap on. He may have the red top on, but it will no longer have the swoosh on it.
Brett, broke my heart this morning when I saw that. I didn't know. I thought that was we were coming to the end of times. When I saw that.
That's close.
I mean.
Now, he was not the first, and he was not the first major winner that wore Nike stuff. Sevy wore it in the day, and I want to say Curtis Strange won back-to-back U.S. Opens wearing Nike stuff.
Wow.
But we know who made them in the golf apparel business.
Yeah, Tiger and Nike go
TW.
hand in hand with each other. So, yeah, that was a shocker when I saw
Big
that
cat.
earlier today. I mean, made me sad.
Nobody bought it because Curtis Strange was wearing it.
No. They bought it because of Tiger.
Now, some did over Sevy. Sevy did have that allure.
I believe it, but not like
Curtis
Tiger.
Strange.
No.
And not even close to Tiger.
Well, I'm excited for our next segment, Brett. We got to get to a break. I've been watching. We've got this college game day for the national championship tonight, and it just continues to build of the excitement for tonight's game. 6:30 kickoff on ESPN. Michigan versus Washington. So let's go ahead, get to a break. When we come back, we'll get to our Ruth's Chris College Football Playoff National Championship game pick and preview also our Big Four all-time for both Michigan and Washington. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Did you know gas goes bad in as little as 30 days? Bad gas can cause rough starts, poor performance, or no starts at all. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Whether it's your car, truck, boat, lawnmower, leaf blower, weed trimmer, ATV, motorcycle, or anything else with an engine, when you store, start with Stable.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-DO.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Sports 56 Traffic.
Good afternoon. There's a couple of accidents out here. Here's what we see. Slow traffic now on 240 East from Airways all the way to 385 Billmore Parkway. That's been slow over there for a while. On 240 East, just trying to get past Poplar up to Walnut Grove. It continues to build over here on I-40 at Warford and Hollywood all the way over to White Station. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's got to be Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome aboard. ABC's Monday Night Football.
Well, it's Monday Night Football of sorts, the college football version of Monday Night Football, the college football playoff national championship game at the home of the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium. That was the home of the Final Four last spring. I was there last year for the Texas Bowl, and tonight the last game of college football will be played. I left there at 1:57 a.m. There'll be people leaving there about that late this year. Yeah. Although this game starts at 6:30. Good for TV.
Shocked that it was starting that early because I assumed we'd have like a 7:30, 8 o'clock kickoff or something.
Me too, and all year long we have taught Monday Night Football at this time, and it's been brought to you by our friends at Ruth Chris. And during the holidays, we did what we suggested so many people. We had our get-together there. We had our holiday party there, and it was fantastic. It was one of the real treats of the holiday season for me to be there with you guys and to be at Ruth's Chris, and whatever the celebration is, whether it's date night, a birthday, after a big win, or just because. Raise a steak in celebration at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in the Regalia Shopping Center. You can hear the sizzles, and it's how celebrating and enjoying Monday Night Football and the College Football Playoff National Championship game should be done. For any occasion, treat yourself to one of the classic USDA prime beef steaks, seasoned and broiled to perfection, then served sizzling hot on one of Ruth's signature 500-degree plates. Trust us on the temperature and trust us on the great time that you'll have, like we did during the holidays and so many others did as well. At Ruth's Chris Memphis in Regalia, with plenty of safe parking. Safe-free parking. Kevin Johnson, the general manager, Jared Wells, his executive chef, and they want everyone to know about coming up for Valentine's. Start making those plans now. A lot of people, kind of a veteran move for Valentine's. Do it on the 13th. Do it on February 13th because it's going to be so packed on February 14th. That's for the perfect event. Open for lunch on Sunday, happy hour, Monday through Thursday, 4 to 6, and on Sunday from 3:30 to 6. Most hospitable steakhouse in town, and those Ruth's gift cards are always available for any season. You can get those. Patented boiling method. Hear the sizzles and enjoy Monday Night Football on all the TVs the Ruth's Chris way. Visit ruthschris.com to make a reservation and celebrate the right way at Ruth's Chris Memphis. Guys, I'm serious. That was one of the most fun nights of the holiday season, being with you good fellers at that night, on that night.
Yeah, no, it was a ton of fun, and the food was even better. So
we did everything but lick the plates.
We did.
That is true.
And appetizer, course, dessert. I mean, we got it all in.
We did. There wasn't one morsel of anything left. We did dive in, and it was. They just kept bringing the food out, and we kept enjoying it, just like we have the college football season. Every year I get a little nostalgic this time, but I promise you, with the end of college football tonight, it never ends for us. It never ends for this show. Won't be quite the college football talk in the next few weeks as it has been over the season, but we always talk college football. We enjoy it, and I love that we got something new tonight. I really do.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this game. Like I said, when we were getting out before our last break, I mean, you can see on ESPN, I mean, the energy is just building, and teams are now out there in pads warming up. And, I mean, like you mentioned, Brett, seems kind of early for the kickoff. But, I mean, I'm going to be racing home right when we're done here so I can get in front of my TV.
If you ran college football, now I know the money's a big thing, but if you ran college football and the money was kind of the same thing, would you keep this game going forward as kind of that standalone bid-out site that might be Indianapolis, might be the new Dome in Chicago someday, might be in Detroit? We know it'll get back to SoFi.
Yeah.
Or would you incorporate it into one of the existing bowls in a rotating basis?
I think I'd do standalone.
I think I would too.
I kind of like it different. Kind of gives it
a
new
too.
feel to it every year. Not kind of the same. I mean, as much
as
and
New Orleans is going to get it.
Sure.
Miami's going to get it. Atlanta gets it next year.
Sure.
Dallas and Houston they're going to get it. Phoenix is going to get it. I mentioned the new dome in Chicago. That'd be quite a setting potentially someday Friday night tonight. The line has been all over the place today.
Sure has.
I'm going to call it 5.5. Are you okay with that, or do you want more?
No, that works. 5.5 is perfectly fine with me.
Because I know you're taking Washington.
Don't spoil my pick, Brett. I mean.
All right, we'll get Johnny's pick first. Johnny, Michigan minus 5.5 over the Husky Dogs.
Man, I got Michigan. I got Michigan.
I do
and
too,
I
John.
love Jim Harbaugh's story today, and I just want to see him go out on top.
I do too, and it feels like this will be the last time he'll wear that ubiquitous Bo M hat.
Yes, sir.
Hard to believe. He cut his teeth on Hail to the Victors, and it does feel like tonight is going to be it. Almost chased out of college football. I don't blame him, but I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to take Michigan to win 31-21.
Brett, I'm going with the Huskies. Give me Washington.
Wow.
I've been riding them all year. This has been such a
You
fun
have.
team to watch. Why would I turn my back now on the biggest stage? They've been doubted all year long. They were doubted against Oregon. They were doubted against Texas. Now they're doubted against Michigan. Give me Washington straight up.
We have doubted them, and they legitimately can say if they win tonight, nobody respected us. They can play the respect card.
They can, and I think should, because, I mean, it has been, still going back to a 9.5-point line, a double-digit line in a conference championship game is just crazy to me. So
It is, and now Washington had trouble selling tickets to the Sugar Bowl. No trouble here. There are a lot of Washington fans there, and right now in the ticket markets, I mean you're talking $1,000 to get in.
Yeah, no, I saw the number earlier of what the resale market was saying for
$987.
It might have been more than that. I mean, it's impressive how much these tickets are going for, and really, I mean, a two undefeated teams. I mean, this is a great national championship game.
Big four for me. I'm going to start with Michigan. I'm going to start in order. Number one, the greatest player in Michigan football history to me, and my affinity connection to him being there that night when the only defensive player ever won the Heisman Trophy. I'm going to go with Charles Woodson 1, Desmond Howard 2. They both have Heisman Trophies. 3, their third Heisman Trophy winner, he played 1,000,000 years ago. He played when you could fold your helmet and put it up and put it in your pocket. But it's Tom Harmon. Brian, are you a big TV watcher at all? Do you know who Tom Harmon's son is, the actor?
I don't.
Are you familiar with and I don't watch it, but the show he's on, Mark Harmon's on one of the FBI shows, one of the,
NCIS, yes, absolutely. I didn't know that was his son.
Yeah, that's his son. And Mark Harmon, I remember him well playing in college. He was a wishbone quarterback for Pepper Rogers at UCLA.
How about that?
And how they got to Hollywood is his dad was drafted, I think, by the Rams. And so he goes out there to play football. Was dashingly good-looking guy. Met and married a movie star, and stayed out there. And Mark Harmon, his son. Number 4 for me, and this was tough. There was a time, a long time ago, I thought he was the best offensive lineman I ever saw play, and he was that good at Michigan. I remember him at Michigan. It was not just with his NFL career, because we were thinking NFL, we got to have Brady in there.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4 for me, and it's hard. I'm going to go with Dan Deerdorf.
Okay. I like that.
Michigan for you.
Michigan for me, well, I've got a couple of OLIs that I've got to give a tip of the hat to. Jake Long, an OLI for me. Mike Hart, another OLI for me. And Denard Robinson, another. Oh, you got to have Denard Robinson.
Hey, that's a sleeper right there, Brian.
Unbelievable player at Michigan. I love him. Number 4 for me, Chad Henne. I mean, he's the all-time passing leader at the University of Michigan.
I almost did it.
I mean, I got to put him in there. I mean, what a player he was at the University of Michigan. Number 3 for me, we see him every Saturday morning during the college football season. Desmond Howard,
That's
number
cool.
3 for me. Great player. Number 2, the only defensive player to win the Heisman, Charles Woodson, number 2 for me. Brett, number 1, keeping it to college. I understand that. But that to me also means what you have done as a coach for that college. Jim Harbaugh, number 1.
I like it, Brian.
Great case. Great case. Harbaugh should have been on my list instead of Deardorff.
Mr. Michigan. I mean,
he really is.
He is.
Yeah, he is. I agree.
Number one.
And I'll repeat it. If he wins tonight, the greatest player that became a head coach to win a national championship. Kirby Smart was a good, I don't want to say little college player, but Les Miles was a good college player at Michigan, but they weren't Harbaugh. Harbaugh was a big-time star.
He was. He was really good. I mean, then was really good at the NFL too. So
for Washington, I had a tough time with 4. And after saying keep it in college, the pro stuff really got to me. But also, he was this good in college, and I remember him, Lawyer Malloy.
Okay.
Number 3, no doubt at Washington, Corey Dillon. And then, I say great pro career. And right there close to Hall of Good or Hall of Fame for Corey Dillon
I agree.
in the NFL. And then the top 2 left-handers. Mark Brunell won a national championship, left-handed quarterback, and the current lefty, Michael Penix, number 1 player in Washington history.
I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Tonight seals it if he wins.
Oh, absolutely. I have 1 OLI for Washington, and it's Warren Moon. I mean, that's more NFL than it is college.
And CFL.
And
CFL. He was good at Washington.
He was good. I cannot. If Warren Moon it went to a school and I'm making a list about a school, hard for me not to put Warren Moon on that list.
That's a good one.
That's a good point.
OLI, he's my only OLI for Washington. Number 4 for me, I also have Corey Dillon as my number 4. Number 3, I have Mario Bailey, a Seattle native that ended up having a really good career.
The last time they won the national championship.
Yeah, so I've got Mario Bailey on my list. Number 3 for me, number 3. Number 2 for me. Number 2 for me is going to be Napoleon Kaufman, another really good player.
Real good.
And then number 1 for me, Michael Penix Jr. I mean,
I like both of y'all had him at number 1.
And then another OLI, Brock Huard, because he's Brock Huard. I mean, you got him on there.
Did you listen to his show this morning?
I did. I'm going to listen to it on the way home, Brett. I'm sure it was a great show today.
And Washington has had good. Steve Entman was a great college player. And many others, and one of the best names in Washington football history. He wasn't that great as a player. Didn't even go to a bowl, because they didn't go to many bowls back then unless you went to the Rose Bowl. But the name, and he was mostly made famous from the original run of The Longest Yard, the name Sonny Six Killer.
Yep.
So I'm doing this Washington. I thought, I wonder how life is treated, what Sonny Six Killer is doing now.
Okay.
Guess what he does?
I have no idea, Brett.
Runs the Learfield division for Washington Huskies radio.
You're kidding.
If the equivalent of like Chris Helsel at Ole Miss, my boss at Ole Miss, Sonny Six Killer runs the network.
Wow. Brett, you could have given me 100 guesses, made me make a guess 100 times. I would have never said that.
I promise you, I exclaimed a curse word when I saw it.
That's incredible. That is unbelievable. I'm shocked.
One of the great names ever.
And Brett, you've been talking about their radio broadcast.
Oh, I love it
all the time this year.
I'm going to dip into it tonight. Well, tonight will be easy to dip into it on MegaCast.
Yeah, you've got them. I mean, 10 to 12 different broadcast options tonight for the national championship game. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, you can watch it however you want to watch. So.
And is Dan Deardorff still on the Michigan broadcast? Is he the analyst still? I know he used to be. He may have retired.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because his knees and back were wrecked.
I believe it. No, but yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to have to bounce around from all of the broadcaast tonight, kind of dip in and see what they have to offer. But we're only less than 30 minutes now from kickoff. So let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
What's wrong? You look bereft.
I am bereft.
What is it?
Well, there's only 3 Central Barbecue locations. The original Central Barbecue on Central, it's closed.
Oh, don't worry, little buckaroo. The location on Central will be back before you know it and better than ever. Now, there's still the location on Summer. You love that one, right?
Yeah.
And there's still the Central Barbecue downtown and the Central Barbecue on Poplar. You love those too, right?
I do love those.
So you could go to those, and then when Central Barbecue on Central reopens, it'll be like Christmas, but with pork.
I feel better already.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, the official hotel of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working towards your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day, from comfortable guest rooms to a complimentary hot breakfast. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay. Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels, an official hotel of the NCAA.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
Is your home still not warm enough or running out of hot water? Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, and we've got exciting news for you. Introducing Choate's Carrier Repair Buyback Program. If you've had HVAC or water heater repairs in the past year, you're in luck. Choate's will credit your repair costs up to $1,500 with a brand new HVAC or tankless water heater system. Yep, you heard right. Just bring your repair invoice from the last 365 days and get ready to upgrade your home's comfort. Say goodbye to those chilly nights and inconsistent heating. Choate's has you covered with various low-payment financing plans, making your upgrade more affordable than ever. Imagine a more efficient and reliable system keeping your family cozy all winter long. And here's the best part. This offer is a substantial boost towards a state-of-the-art heating solution. Ready to take the next step? Schedule your free estimate by calling 347-8086. And remember, turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
It's a new year, and Family Leisure has a new way to bring family and fun together. All you have to do is walk into Family Leisure and look around. All those floor model patio sets you see, those have got to go. So Family Leisure can make room for all the new sets coming. Get a wicker sofa set for under $2,000. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating for under $2,000. Hot tubs for $4,000 or just for yourself. If you really want to lounge, they're under $5,000. Need patio cushions? Get them as low as $25. Oh, have you seen those infrared steam saunas? Well, now they and the traditional saunas are 25% off. It may just be the first few weeks of 2024, but that doesn't mean you can't start getting ready for summer. 2 final things. Purchase your above-ground pool now and get first in line for installation, and take advantage of special financing that's available. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, bringing the family and the fun back together.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
So how you like me now? 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 How you like me now?
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so...
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is that Draymond Green spoke about the incident with Yusuf Nurkic on his latest episode of the Draymond Green Show. It was released earlier this morning on YouTube, and I took some time to go and listen to it. I thought it was really good. Everything was saying, I thought was good to hear him say, and he definitely shared a lot. He said he was wrong for both the Nurkic and Gobert incidents. He said, quote, "I'm a guy that plays on the edge. I'm a guy that walks right up to that line, and I have no problem admitting that I have walked past that line, and for that, I apologize." He said that Steve Kerr came over to his house either the day after the incident or a couple days after the incident, and that they sat with each other for 3 or 4 hours just talking, and that Steve Kerr basically said, what you did was wrong, but, I know you're going to get through this, and when you apologized after the game, I noticed that there was no but there, and so that kind of shows me that you want to go in the right direction for this. So he said he took a lot of time kind of by himself trying to figure everything out, has been going to therapy and learning a lot and saying that he can move past it. He's learned in this time that he doesn't need the antics that he has kind of had in the past to be a good basketball player, to be an impact basketball player for the Warriors. So I thought very mature, really everything he said today on his podcast.
What I learned is we're learning now that the roof is leaking at NRG Stadium.
Brett, I did see that.
All over the Twitter machine of really some heavy rain coming through the retractable roof. It was going to be closed, but okay. Get ready for kind of Seattle weather maybe tonight in Houston. I also learned the Packers are going to do the unthinkable. They're going to go almost 40 years with 3 quarterbacks. Favre, Rodgers, Love. Love's going to have a long, great career. He's that good, and will even be better. Every throw, every read, head, legs, brain, arm, he's got it all.
No, he absolutely does, and he's been fun to watch this year, and I don't think a lot of people have really been paying attention to him. What I could have done without Brett, it's we mentioned it earlier, we talked about it earlier, but Tiger Woods and Nike, no more after 27 years. I mean, just the...
Is this the spot where he changed the whole Sunday persona and ditches the red top, black trousers?
I don't know if you can. I would just crush me, Brett. I mean, because...
I don't know if I can believe in anything if that happens.
Honestly, I mean, because that...
No doubt, Detroit and Cleveland Super Bowl. It's all over.
This year is already starting off with a bang, and that would just be, clock striking 0. But, no, I mean, it blew my mind to hear that Tiger Woods and Nike, after 27 years, they will not be partners anymore.
I could have done without the end in Nashville for Derrick Henry, classy man. Sadly reminiscent of Earl Campbell. I read those numbers earlier. The best years for Earl Campbell were in Houston. After that, he was good. He wasn't great anywhere, and I think Derrick Henry's got a few good years left, but he's taking a lot of hits.
He's taking a lot of hits, toting that rock way too many times and, just getting killed back there. Where are you beaming tonight? I think
Beam me to NRG. Yeah. I'll take an umbrella for the national championship game of college football. I was there in that stadium for Super Bowl 51, the only overtime game in Super Bowl history.
Wow.
When the Patriots came back and defeated the Falcons. Tom Brady, a Michigan man, part of that. Will we have overtime tonight?
Oh, I would love to have overtime. The more football, Brett, the
had
better.
Overtime in the Michigan semifinal game in the Rose Bowl.
We sure did. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm beaming there too. I mean, where else would you beam on a night like this? And really, Brett, I like what you're saying. I mean, maybe the weather playing into Washington's favor tonight. I don't know.
In a weird way, a very weird way.
I guess so. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. 2 teams that have played really, really well all season long.
Michigan Lions. If the Michigan Lions impose onto Washington what they did to Alabama, I don't think it'd be close. Can Washington stop them? And can Michigan put pressure on Michael Penix and get to him? And for Washington, can they make J.J. McCaffrey, throw it up for grabs?
Yeah, and it's going to be, this defense that we've seen in Michigan. You talked about the trench play and their defensive line. What they did to Alabama, I think, surprised everybody. Can they still be that aggressive against this can't-miss Washington offense? I mean, that's going to be the storyline of the game.
I wonder if John Harbaugh will be in the building.
That's a good question. I would
hope so. Open date, no game this week.
I think so. And I'm sure if he's there, we'll be seeing a lot of them on
with
television.
with his parents.
Yeah. I hope so. I think if I had to bet on it, Brett, my first bet of the night for the national championship game, John Harbaugh, yes, will be in attendance tonight.
I would too.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I think that would be a good bet. So that's going to really block out the sun. We do have some NBA games. I should say not a loaded slate, but a handful of games that should be fun to watch. Suns and Clippers later tonight, 9:30 on NBA TV. So really, right when that national championship game is ending, you can flip over and watch some NBA basketball. The Suns, who the Grizzlies just beat, and then the Clippers, who the Grizzlies will see over the weekend. But that's all the time we have today. Enjoy the night. Be safe out there. Kind of starting to storm outside. Enjoy this game tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.